Mike Bellini from East Bendigo University in his traditional white and yellow uniform. Been a very good Masters athlete for many years. Randy Gerger, I think, will take the lead early this one too.
Yeah, we're looking at seed times from the top athletes around that 10:20 mark. So on pace, 1:23 per lap, but we know with some of the athletes in the earlier seeded races, generally will bank a little bit of time earlier.
Yeah, we're looking at seed
times. So we might expect to see a lap around that 1:20 mark a little bit, depending on how good Liam Werrett's pacing is.
Per lap, but we know with some of the athletes in the earlier seeded races, generally will bank a little bit of time earlier. So we might expect to see a lap around that 1:20 mark a little bit, depending on how good Liam Werrett's pacing is. Per lap, but we know with some...
Absolutely, that's... I went for a run this morning, Tim. It was the best run they've been for in weeks. Sun was coming up, no wind at all, the water was... And I was thinking if these conditions follow through to this evening, we're going to be in for some massive PBs across the night.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see too in these lower grade races. People, absolutely taking big amounts of time off their PBs, and I think we will see that, particularly some of the juniors coming through. And I'm actually really excited about these junior races that we've got for 3,000 and 1,500 names in those junior events, and just to see them going head-to-head juniors only, whereas Milers Club are often mixed with the seniors. And there'll be a lot, particularly as we move towards the national championships, which aren't too far away. We're going to see some real lining up there to see who's the real players as we go towards nationals.
Absolutely. It's a cool thing that the guys at Box Hill have introduced with the, well, they did it at the Box Hill Burn a few weeks ago, having a couple of these junior races, and although the are awesome, you just compete against people of your ability, no matter who you, how old you are. But also on the flip side, it is nice to compete against people your own age, because you might only get the opportunity to be in those age group races a couple of times in a season, maybe at states, maybe at some school races, but that's about it. So, if you're someone who races regularly, you're going to get a full spectrum of experiences this season. It's cool that they're doing this more at Box Hill.
It'll be event number 1, men, 3,000 E-grade.
It's very, very rare that I think we've run junior-only races in that competition. It's always based on your seed times and seasonal best times, but this is a point of difference now for the Box Hill Classic. All right, on the line, ready to go.
A men's E-grade.
All right, so off they go.
Lane 1 or Station 1.
Yeah,
we
the
go.
pacemaker, Liam Werrett.
Athlete, of course, the old
Straight
Scotch
to the front.
midday miler. Peter
It
Russian,
actually looks like
Glen
Liam
Huntly
Werrett
couple of
is
the,
in second
veterans in
position
the
there,
field.
so we might have two
Lane 3
pacemakers in this race here.
Station 3, Richard Dorr, Mornington
I
Peninsula.
wonder if the pacemakers
Brenton
will
Hall,
follow through for
Matthew
all of the
Morris,
races tonight. Would be good to see. It always helps.
Looks like Oscar Turkins sitting there in that second position. Then we've got Imbriano to the outside there. You've got Brenton Hall in the Mornington Peninsula colours.
In the pink t-shirt. Jolene Masseni from Keelos and Bernards. Ranveer Gurja, Box Athletic Club. Dino Imbriano of St Kevin's. John Curry, Doncaster Athletics Club. Ozcan Turkin of Mornington Peninsula. And Zeng Lang Chen of Melbourne University. So the pace might not be exactly the tempo that Chen of Melbourne University is after, and he has set off at a cracking tempo to get this first 3,000 metres underway. So it's great to see some pacemakers assisting tonight, but Chen has decided that he wants a little bit quicker in his E-grade race, and we'll give him an update when he gets through 800 metres to tell you how long he's quickly he's ticking along. So it's a full card tonight in the racing. We've got elite fields and obviously now 3,000s. Something I'm pretty excited for. Lyndon Hall running the 1,500. Peter Ball having a crack at the 800. I don't think you'll ever see it better conditions at Box Hill to run fast. And Chen of Melbourne Uni has decided that he's going to go very quickly tonight as he goes through 600 metres in 155.
Okay, and here's our man from Melbourne Uni in Zeng Lang Chen. He doesn't have one of the fastest seed times in the field, so it is interesting to see him go so far ahead of the pacemaker in these early stages.
Yeah, and I'm surprised Gurja hasn't. He's just sitting mid-pack there at the moment, Michael, which is unusual for Randy. He likes to get out front, have a bit of clean space, but our Melbourne Uni man, he's actually looking good, striding out nicely, approaching the 800-metre mark.
Absolutely, and quite often there's limited opportunities to run a good 3,000 metres in a season as well. So, these seed times that are listed for some people, you don't know if it is a very
or if it's some performance that's a bit dated and they're just going to absolutely wipe seconds and seconds off their times tonight.
So the leader is well under 10-minute pace at the moment, and our pacemaker is spot on 10-minute pace. So that seems to be the plan for the pacer in the pink shirt. And he's got Bellini from Bendigo University just sitting right there with him. But it is the young man there, Zenlang Chen, Melbourne University. Out by about 40 metres.
And I'm guessing that's Mike Bellini in second position, sitting right behind our pacer from Bendigo University, the athlete you mentioned earlier, Tim.
Certainly is. One of our finest Masters athletes in Victoria.
So 324 for that second pack.
Ozcan Turkin from Mornington Peninsula is sitting pretty just behind that pacer as well. There's a bit of a pack forming. Ranveer Gurja is right there as well. 10 minutes would be a massive result for a bulk of these athletes in the race.
And Chen is a long way inside his 11:09 seed time at the moment with the tempo he's running. Back of our group there, 345 or 348. So they're looking at about somewhere around that 11:30 mark, which I reckon those gentlemen would all be very happy with indeed.
There's a few in that chase pack, I think, Michael, who are just setting their race up right now. They haven't gone out too hard, just sitting with the pacer, and I think we're going to see quite a move over that last kilometre in particular. And you can just see Bellini, just that ease of movement. He's just going along really nicely. The guy, who's the one behind him, the Mornington Peninsula runner?
Mornington Peninsula, that's Ozcan Turkin.
Right, okay, and then you've got Ranveer Gurja. Gurja's looking really good tonight because Glenn Huntley at Milers, he just went too hard early and blew, but tonight he is just pacing this beautifully.
Maybe he's learnt a bit of a lesson. Patience might pay off for him tonight.
Yeah, well, look, yet again, it doesn't hurt to try different things in these races, to get out there and feel the burn. And I think now our Melbourne University runner will be feeling like the breakaway in the Tour de France, knowing that the peloton is just working slowly but surely.
Yeah, definitely. Patrick Nichols from Melbourne University, he's the other athlete just on the heels of Gurja in that front train that we've got scooting around the track. And yeah, they are going up to that, about 4 laps through, 1,600 metres. Usually, if you're feeling good about 2Ks in, it's setting you up really well for a final last K in these 3K races. And the peloton is slowly approaching our leader in Zenlang Chen from Melbourne University.
Now, Gurj has made his move at the 16. He's got beautifully there behind Bellini. Interesting pickup I just saw on that lap, Michael. We've got one of our best photo finish operators, Brenton Hall, out there having a run. I haven't seen Brenton race before. He's hip number 4. He's certainly part of our A team when it comes to trying to put together an electronic timing group. And it's just great to see Brenton out there, one of our great officials, actually having a run.
Maybe he's obviously been inspired by watching so many races, poring over so many results and statistics. And yeah, great to see him out on the track.
All right, so look, lots happened on that lap, and we see that the peloton has dragged the early leader in, who's running quite wide in the lane too. So the pacemaker's just taken them wide out now. So Mike Bellini in the distinctive Bendigo University uniform, and we're seeing a lot more of it.
Absolutely, it's become a real staple at Milers Club and these club meets that we've been streaming throughout the season or last couple of seasons, and impressive to see so many of the Bendigo athletes making the drive down for these meets, especially midweek as well.
All right, so Bellini looking the goods now with the pacemaker just going wide. I think the pacemaker's now out after 5 laps. So 6:48 thereabouts at the 2K mark, and Mike Bellini just really starting to stride out nicely.
Zenlang Chen is still holding on, though. He's been passed. He was the the breakaway athlete, and he's been passed by the peloton, but now he's sort of just sitting in. He's getting up on the heels of Bellini and taking a bit of a ride for the last couple of laps.
Yeah, and they are into the last kilometre now, so it's just a matter of hanging in. They'll be coming through to get 2 laps to go. Line of 4, so Randy Gurja in 3rd, and then it is Ozcan Turkin in the 4th position.
The 4 athletes in the lead at this stage as well. They were heading through in about that 10:10 to 10:15 pace as well, which would be a massive season best or personal best for all 4 of those athletes.
So Patrick Nichols next one through, then Melbourne University teammate there, Jack Melush.
So the next couple of years, look out.
Then we have a few of our Masters, Peter Rush and Steve Quirk in the Masters uniform. Michael Thomas also up there. So in the battle of the Imbrianos, it is Dad Dino leading the way at the moment, just probably about 30 metres up on Joel.
He's got that man strength.
Definitely has.
Dad strength.
Joel's actually been really going up the rankings as a walker as well. Dominic McKenzie coming through next.
So only 600 metres to go now, and Bellini is striding out, but Chen isn't letting him get away very easily.
Yeah, and Turkan also there.
Very, very impressive from Chen. Quite often when you see someone get caught and dragged back into the pack, they often get spat out the other side, but he is doing his very, very best to just stay on the heels of Bellini there, which, if you've got the energy, good on you. Go for it. Yeah. Only 1 lap to go now. And coming for a quite impressive time for these guys as well. If they close this last lap in about the same pace as they've been running, they're sort of heading for around that 10:15 mark.
Yeah, I think we'll have a few sub-10:15s here. There's Bellini just stretching it out now. I don't think Chen will have the goods unless, as we often see with some of the younger guys, they just have that last 200 metres where they just dig right in. But a lot of experience in those legs of Michael Bellini from Bendigo Uni, and he's looking pretty good down that back straight.
He is. He's extending that lead ever so slightly, although we keep an eye on him because he's not going to. Chen's not going to let him get his take the win away too easily. Michael Thomas, a bit further back in the pack, off screen now. He's the athlete from Mornings Peninsula. We actually haven't even mentioned him tonight. Yeah. He's just been biding his time back in the pack, but he's moved into 4th position behind Ranveer, or 5th position behind Ranveer Gurja. But check out the front of this race, Tim.
Yeah, well, as I said, never write off a younger man than the younger legs. He's going to the outside there, so lining it up. Can Bellini hold him off? This is going to be a ripper of a finish.
And forget about the time. It's all for line honours now. Chen is led early. He's just moved into the lead very late. Are the wheels going to be faster than Bellini? It is Chen, a very deserving win. A very smart race by Bellini as well. And in a time of about 10:02.
10:02 thereabouts.
Unreal.
So these ones coming through now under the 10:15 mark. So some good times. Russian coming through there, the Glenn Huntley uniform.
Beating his seed time by about 40 seconds, Russian.
Yeah. Interesting race that was. So Chen looked like he was going to be gobbled up and spat out. Brenton Hall just finishing there under 10:30, so not bad for a photo finish.
And the battle of the father and son, Dino Imbriano wins out. And just under his seed time as well, about 10:36 from Dino Imbriano. 10:40 was his seed time.
So Richard Dorr just coming across the line there. Now Joel Imbriano, so Dad Dino's already finished. And we're going to get a sub-11 minutes there from Joel. Dominic McKenzie from Keelos and Berners. Next one through.
Dominic McKenzie next through. Gary Zakula now coming down the home straight. We've got 2 finishes to come home. So great run there, of course, from Chen and Melbourne University.
Not to make this a race about shoes, Tim, but just looking at the shoes coming across the line, we do see a complete combo of super shoes, a couple of spikes in there, a few of the joggers, the trainers.
Yeah, it's a real mixed bag, isn't it, in that race? I think it'll be a little bit more standardised when we go to some of those senior races a little bit later on.
Absolutely. And Gary Zaluka was the athlete who just finished there in about 11:28, a few seconds under his seed time as well, the man in the midday milers singlet. And Matthew Morris from the Masters, 12:07 was the time he listed and he is going to just get under that tonight at Box Hill for a 12:01.
And John Curry, just over the 12-minute mark. So that's 4-minute kilometres. So, you know, to round out the E-race there at 4-minute kilometres or just over, that's a pretty impressive performance from John Curry once again.
It is. It's good going.
So for our park runners at home, that's, you know, comparable to the 20-minute 5K.
Which we talked about at the start of the evening, Tim, all the I guess what we call the marquee events tonight, the A races, the few races where the athletes will be chasing Olympic qualifiers, and, you know, fingers crossed, maybe a national record. Yep. But it's awesome that so many people, all it takes is an entry to run on the same track as these guys at the same event.
Yet again, it's one of the beautiful things about our sport of athletics. You know, if you are an AFL player, you just can't wander onto the MCG at the end of September and have a kick of the ball. Whereas in our sport, you can be up front and competing the same day as the Olympians. You know, the best in the country,
exactly,
some of the best in the world, and having the same experience as they do. Right, I'll introduce the field now. The event number 2, men's D, 3,000 metres. We have 16 starters. Alistair O'Brien from Knox, Matthew Hook, who's an invitation, Sung Hil Hong, Mentone, Anthony Page, Doncaster, Dale Woodbridge, Charles Mayfield from Chilwell, Hugh Parrott from Box Hill, Angus McCarthy, also Andrew McAvoy from Glen Huntly, from Diamond Valley, Jared Lynch, Philip Turville, James Baumgartner, Andrew Creer, Kennedy Chen from Box Hill, and then our pacers, Ross Thomas and Liam Werrett. So it's 14-man field plus 2 pacers in the D 3,000 metres.
So ready to go now is event number 2, men 3,000 metre D.
On your marks.
Ooh, as everyone finds their place in this race, a few early starters charging towards the front of the field. We have Liam Werrett, our pacemaker in the grey singlet, who is settling in towards the front of this pack. So 9:50. Just browsing across the seed times, we've got a 9:45 from Anthony Page of Doncaster. So 9:45 to 10 minutes is the range that a lot of these athletes will be looking for. Around 120 per lap would be a 10-minute. 10-minute 3K, and 118 per lap would be our 9:45. Some of these athletes might be looking to bank a few seconds early in the first couple of Ks. First few laps at least. So I'll keep an eye on those times, on those seed times as athletes are coming through, because they will be pretty tightly bunched, especially in these early stages. We see one athlete after the other almost clipping the heels of those in front of them. Plenty of Box Hill athletes here tonight as well, as you would expect on the home track, the home of PBs at Hagenauer Reserve. They know those curves well. They know the bends of the Box Hill track. And we see plenty of turnout, plenty of PBs always from the Box Hill athletes.
I've got a record alert for us, Michael, in that
already
previous race. Yeah,
where are we?
Broke the Victorian 60-plus record for the 3,000 metres. So that's why Peter Russian was quite a happy chap at the end of that race. So as we can see, it's on for tonight. So already one Victorian record. I reckon we might see.
Get the counter go. We should get a little counter going in the bottom right corner of the screen. That might be a bit late to organise on short notice, Lockie. Or
we'll see if Mr. Rayner can organise the record count. But anyway, there's already one. We'll tick that off.
So it is Angus McAfee from his invitational, but we can see he's got the Bendigo Uni singlet on. Charles Mayfield as well from Chilwell. He's in second position, just sitting on the inside there.
Looks like Dale Woodbridge is the one going around the outside, I think, in the Glen Huntly uniform.
There you go, as he settles onto the heels of our pacer in Liam Werrett. Bit impatient making the move on the bend there, Tim. What's your thoughts on Ben Ben passing.
I have no issues with Ben passing. If the body says go, you say go. Sometimes you've got to let the body talk and not the brain, because the brain will hold you back.
As Liam, I'd almost say Liam Werrett's ticking those legs over a little bit quickly just to account for our athlete from Glen Huntly there who's settled in. The top 4 athletes are looking to roll with this pace that Liam is setting.
So they'll be coming down to get the 1K. This will tell us a lot.
So 9:45, 3:55 through, oh sorry, not 3:55. There'll be a 3:15 through the first K would be nice.
Yeah, just under.
Yeah, setting themselves up nicely.
9:45 pace. Interesting seeing at the back of the field we've got Philip Turville. He's been making a bit of a splash in middle distance running as an invitational runner. It'll be interesting to see whether he joins the club at the end of this season or the start of the new season. But he's sitting at the back of the field at the moment, but he's certainly been, I think at Glen Huntly he ran something like a 25-second PB over 1,500 metres. So.
I like his swagger. I don't mind that purple singlet.
Yep. Well, we don't have a purple team in AV anymore now that Oakley have gone, so where do we send him?
Maybe, I don't know, does he make his own club with, with purple singlets?
Just going up towards that second pacer now, but out front, gee, they're moving nicely. So sitting on that sub 9:45 pace at the moment. Once again, we've got a Bendigo runner up there in the regional singlet.
Yeah, I believe it's Angus McAfee and Matthew Hook are 2 of our Bendigo athletes towards the nose of the field.
And a Chilwell runner, so we're well represented by the regions out there.
Yeah, a few people travelling a bit to run here at Box Hill tonight.
Well, they always do. It's the home of the PBs.
That's it. Dale Woodbridge is our leader, though, sitting behind our pacer in Liam Werrett. So Dale Woodbridge, Charles Mayfield.
Mayfield, yeah, from Chilwell. Yep. Gap then to Kennedy Chen. So nice little second group forming there, and Chen just setting the pace.
So 5:12 would be nice going through the first 4 laps for these guys, and they sneak a few seconds under, banking a few seconds early to chase that 9:45. So McAfee, almost a bit impatient there, getting up on the heels of Woodbridge. He might be feeling absolutely great, just sitting in on that train, just taking a bit of a ride at these early stages.
So for the second group, which Chen is leading, they're also just under the 10-minute pace. So Anthony Page from Doncaster just getting a little bit antsy there, I think, in that second pack, and he's starting to move forward. You can see the Glen Huntly runner there, Andrew McAvoy, former president of Glen Huntly, sitting nicely in that pack. Sung Hil Hong, we've seen a fair bit of him this season, haven't we?
Yeah, I love the turquoise shorts with the Mentone singlet. It's unmistakable look.
It is. He is part of Sean Williams' group, I would say, being the Mentone link there. So the Sweat group. Sorry, the Melbourne pack.
Yeah, quite a big pack he's got down Bayside, doesn't he?
Growing pack, and doing a great job down, and doing a really good job for the Mentone Athletic Club as well, Sean Williams. He's really getting a rebuild happening there in the distance circles, and watch out for them in the XCR series, which kicks off on May the 1st.
May, yeah, I was about to say, you're quizzing me there. I know it's start of May.
May the 1st with a revised Gels Park course.
I saw that on your socials the other day, Tim. It was quite exciting.
Yep.
I'm very much looking to get stuck into the XCR season for the mighty Western Athletics crew.
Yes, there's a bit of talent drifting through that club at the moment. All right, so things are starting to hot up here, and it is Angus McAfee, I think, has taken the lead.
Charles Mayfield, the athlete from Chilwell, is right on his heels. But McAfee has been looking pretty good, even when he was sitting in second, third position with the pacemaker. He just had that stride. He was almost getting up on the shoulder of Mayfield, didn't, and now he's striding out.
So I think the decision now for Hook will be, does he go past Woodbridge or not? And I think he's just made that decision and he's making the move. So, you've just got to be careful sometimes not to be stuck too much. And we're seeing a change in leader now with Mayfield taking the pace.
And they're only increasing that pace as well, Tim. They're only a few seconds under that 9:45 pace, going through a few laps, and now going through with 600 metres to go.
He could be a sub 9:40 here.
Absolutely.
Interesting to see Woodbridge is now back in front of Hook again. So Woodbridge just holding firm on the rail. He's going to make Hook have to work hard to get round him.
Or make him pass on the bend.
Make him pass on the bend, yeah. But Hook's now taken the lead there. I think he's just getting the surge. Gee, the sound of that bell does things to people, doesn't it?
Especially after you get dizzy after a few laps.
Yep.
But Mayfield, he's just striding away. McAfee, he looked the goods for most of the race, but Mayfield has put about 30, 40 metres into him. Hook is chasing his Bendigo teammate, and Woodbridge is doing his best to hang on there. You're our top four, and they're all heading around for that 9:40 to 9:50.
So Page is leading the next group. That's Anthony Page from Doncaster. He's got one of the Deneen runners, I think, on his heels. But G. Mayfield's really been impressive the last 3 laps.
Absolutely. Does he go? He might even go 9:35 or so, I reckon. He's extending that lead. Hook back further in the field. Look at second, third and fourth. Hook might even catch his teammate in McAfee, but 100 metres to go.
Yeah, I reckon we've got a sub 9:30 here potentially. So 9:20 now, so I think he's got it. What a run.
And what a way to wind up a 3K.
Yeah. Brilliant running there.
Waiting, and bang, last K, huge. Wow.
Big finish here from the 2 Bendigo runners. They're 33 and 34 thereabouts.
McAfee and Hook. Woodbridge. All under 9:40, all PBs or season's best for the lads.
12 is James Baumgartner.
Anthony Page from Doncaster.
And Lynch and look at Sung Gil Hong come over the line, and he was under 10, so looks like Alistair O'Brien's the only one at that point slipping over the 10-minute mark. So
it's always nice to dip under those milestones.
It certainly is, yeah. In 10 minutes, that's the 3-minute 20 per kilometre or 80-second laps. So
that's flying.
So let's see if Turville's going to give us the thumbs up. Double thumbs up from Philip Turville, so he is happy. So sub 10 minutes, he'll be happy with that. But gee, Mayfield.
Yeah, that was a very, very impressive run. I'd sort of like to watch that back and see what he did his last kilometre in.
It was see the splits on that one.
And just staying patient. Like, I wonder how good he was feeling at the 2 kilometre mark, and or if he just sort of just kept going and going and going.
Big shout out to Philip Turville's son, William, who he is watching and just saw Dad crunch through his first sub 10-minute 3K. So, yeah, big effort there. So, as expected, Michael, we keep going on about the conditions tonight. We are seeing it in action in the lower grade races, which only indicates that later this evening it is primed for some big races.
And we usually say the wind is only going to drop, but if it yeah, exactly, it'd be negative wind if it dropped any further. It would be sucked into the core of the earth.
The only competitor in this would be a permanent tailwind, which you can't get on the circular track. But it is absolutely perfect here.
So to read out competitors in this men's C, 3,000 metres, third of 21 events for this evening. In lane 1 we have Kevin Zoe from Glen Huntly. With hip number 2, Jared Zukowski from Maccabee. Hip number 3, Bart Leeton from Old Scotch. Number 4, Damien Bruno from Athletics Essendon. Number 5, Merlin Gammon Invitational. Number 6, Matthew Patton from Knox. Number 7, Daniel Smee Invitational. Number 8, Harrison Boyd. Another Bendigo athlete.
Yep.
It's unreal to see how many are making a journey down. Hip number 9, Joji Mori from Richmond. Number 10, Stephen Van Rees from Bendigo. Number 11, Murray Lovas from Box Hill, home track hero. Number 12, Michael Johnson from Richmond. Number 13, Thomas Little, Invitational. Number 14, Andrew Lego, Invitational. And once again, we have Liam Werrett just doing a bit of a training session out there tonight, pacing his third race in a row. And also Ross Thomas from Box Hill doing a pacing job for us as well.
Yeah, it can be a good session, getting in a few of these races, and the way it's constructed tonight, that the races are getting quicker and quicker, so as they're going through, their lap pace just has to improve. So it can prove to be a very, very worthwhile training session for a middle distance runner or distance runner.
And it's always good to do that pacing job as well if you're capable and got the time to just give back to the athletes. Everyone loves a race set up for them, and paces just help take the pressure off so much if you're at the pointy end of one of these packs.
Yep. So one of the Melbourne pack runners there, and that is Andrew Lego. He's sort of prominent early.
So we have a couple of these athletes that are around that 9:05 seed mark. 9:10, 9:13, 9:15 is kind of the upper end, and then it goes all the way down to a 9:35. So the athletes, as we can see, there is quite a long train being formed early on in this race. But the top end, will they be nudging? They could even be nudging that 9-minute mark if they're on tonight.
We'll know on the first lap, Michael, because if it's going through in around 72 seconds, we know what the paces have been told to do. So just as they go through now, they're well in advance of that. This is a sub-9 race being set up for them.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And we've got Bart Leeton in the field. Smaller figure, hard to miss. And this one has got the heart of a tank.
I love watching Bart Leeton run. He's been one of these athletes who has been running through a school system for years and years. Got a dad and a brother that run as well. And it is unreal seeing Bart out on the track, especially at the Miles Clubs, where he's often sticking it to the guys who are much bigger and older than him as well.
Yeah, well, broke a Victorian State record in the first Miles Club of this season. There might be a record attempt on tonight as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Bart knows what he has to do there, and we'll see if we can get some intel on that.
Now, is the younger brother Bart, is he? Or
yes,
is Freddie's the older?
And you have David Leeton, the dad, who also competes for Old Scotch as well. So the whole family affair there. But having to do a bit of work going out wide, though, I reckon he should be just trying to tuck in and relax in these early stages, because the pace is pretty decent.
That's on. I believe that's Matthew Patton, who is the athlete from Knox, who is settling in between the two pacemakers.
Yep.
Unconventional, but do what you got to do.
Yeah, now in that position, they dropped the pace a little bit on that lap. So they're going back to into the 950s. They were well in excess of that on lap 1, so a little bit of excitement there, but this is probably what they need to do now in this mid-stage of the race. Just settle in, set a good pattern, good steady rhythm. You see Bruno, very experienced runner there. He's starting to move his way. I think Damien's been doing a fair bit of triathlon as well. I think he's been in 2-time Juice Series.
Oh, unreal. Got that strength he's carrying through.
And another one of our Bendigo runners there, Van Rees, looking good just to the outside.
So 72-second laps is what we've still got to keep our eye on, which makes our last or our next milestone of 3:36. So it is hard to take your eyes off the smaller figure of Leeton sitting in fourth in the race right now. Patton is the other higher seeded athlete. He is just sitting behind the paces in the blue Knox uniform and 3:36, but the pace is just slipping ever so slightly.
Yeah, but it could be similar to the previous race. We might see a really nice kick down of a few who've got a bit of petrol in the tank, and I wouldn't be surprised with that. I think there's a few. Look at Van Rees, he's looking really solid there. I think Lego's just starting to drift back a little bit at the moment. Bruno's just behind him. But certainly Darton Leeton is one of the players in this field at the moment. You just look at that, just the way he moves. It's a nice free movement. Just trying to keep contact. Surges again just to get back on to Patton.
And Bruno's kind of wanting to bridge that gap up to the next pack. He doesn't want to let them get away too easily.
Harrison Boyd's making a little good move there as well. He's going up on the side of Bruno.
And it's interesting if you sort of know the little stories within the race as well. Bruno, his seed time that he's got down is a 9:10, which he's actually perfectly paced to that right now. And he's the experienced racer he is. He's put himself into a great position. Probably just wishes that he had someone to sit on right now. So 4:48 is the number that we're looking for, and they once again are just under or hit that magic number for that 9-minute 3K.
I'd be surprised if we saw Harrison Boyd trying to bridge that gap at some stage. He looks pretty comfortable off the back of Bruno, and he's got to make that decision or that choice. Does he try to push forward? And maybe we see that after he hits the 2K mark. So you can see Leighton once again going quite wide, but he has to. He wants to get back onto that pacer. He's the one who's making the moves.
Definitely, and these are our top 3 seeded athletes who are taking it up to the pacer and really doing everything that they can to score some big PBs tonight.
Yeah. They're still right on that 9-minute mark, just a shade under. So that was 2:23, I think, for that previous 800, getting it back to here.
Yeah, Merlin Gammon is the other one that we haven't mentioned tonight, but he is sitting on the back of that second pack there in the red singlet, the invitational athlete. Does even look like he might be donning some footy shorts as well with a very footy-esque hairstyle. Yep. So it's surprised we haven't picked up on that earlier in the race. It's a bit hard to take your eyes off as well. As the pacemaker in Liam Where it just steps off the track, taking him through in just under 6 minutes, setting him up very, very nicely for a sub-9 3K. And what an exciting milestone to nail. So the 13-year-old Bart Leighton, followed by Matthew Patton from Knox and Stephen Van Rees from Bendigo University are our top 3. 2 laps to go. They're right on pace for that 9-minute 3K.
Van Rees making or half decision there, then went back again, and that sometimes can be a bit of a mistake. You know, you get that concept, oh, I can't pass on the bend, and to me that's just rubbish. If the body says go, you go.
Maybe it's not passing on the bend. I think what they're doing now is racing in height order. Yeah. Maybe he's got that in his head.
Well, they certainly are that, because the taller figure of Van Rees was sitting third, but now he takes that second position. That was a good move. And now he's in position to start to bridge that gap towards Leighton. And that would be good for Bart, knowing there's footsteps coming at him. And if I was Rees, I'd go straight past. So 600 out.
Still on that pace. Patton just dropping off. Van Rees just nipping at the heels of Leighton. But how much quicker does Leighton look just with those small, quick legs?
And as we know, he really battles on hard over the last 400 metres. He does have a big heart, so I wouldn't be surprised if challenged, he'll just take it up another gear.
And he is being challenged right now as Van Rees gets up on the shoulder of Bart, as Bart just looks up and across. And says, what are you doing? He might just say, all right, pass me, I'll get up on your heels for a couple hundred metres. But Rees passes with gusto.
They're still on those 72s. So if we can see a little kick down here, and I think Bart can do it, we're going to see a sub-9 minute.
Absolutely. And don't forget about Patton as well. He's he's sort of been losing that lead from Leighton and Van Rees.
Beautifully.
Absolutely. He can still hold on with a fast last 200, 300 and chase that sub-9 like the other boys. Van Rees, you called it early, Tim. He's timed this perfectly. Bart Leighton doing all he can to close quickly. Sub-9 still within his grasp. Further back in the field, Bruno's still running a strong race.
So we need that 36-second last 200 for Bart Leighton. I think Rees is going to get the sub-9 here for sure. Patton is coming back again. This is a very impressive run by Patton. He could have been dropped, but he's coming in strong. Can Bart Leighton just pull it up one more notch?
What an exciting race so far as Van Rees enters the straight. Patton getting up on the heels and passing Bart Leighton with gusto. Van Rees charging towards the finish line in a sub-9 minute 3K. Patton almost chasing him on the line, and sub-9 for the 3 athletes out the front. Unreal. Harrison Boyd, 9:06. Damien Bruno, 9:07. Huge runs from them. Our invitational athlete in Gammon, that's right.
And Johnson, I think, was it Lovis in next position there, Murray. Great running out the front there.
Andrew Lego as well, 9.26. He entered a seed time of 9.35, the athlete from Melbourne Pack.
Daniel Smee also across the line there in the fluoro yellow.
Joji Mori, 9.36. The athlete from Maccabee in Jared Zawoski.
Next through there at 9.47. And Kevin Zhu rounds out the field in 9.50 in our men's C race. Great running for all the gentlemen there.
So according to Bart Leaton, that may be a record. So he's gone from a 9.12 PB, and we've got him, I reckon, what, 8.58 thereabouts?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 8.58, 8.59.
So that may well be record number 2 for the night.
It's,
Masseni.
9.13, that's huge.
Yeah, so he's, as we're saying, people are going to chop big times tonight. This is what we expect. And Bart Leaton, and, you know, how do you fault the running style, just the determination?
The race played out perfectly for all three of those athletes, just in different ways. Pacemaker perfectly set them up, and they were all so strong over that last, 400 to 600 metres. Any one of them just could have dropped off the pace and just.
And it was great of Patton to come through. That was a really nice run. We've got 19 young females in the junior 3,000 metres. I will call the field here. Saskia Lloyd from South Melbourne, Chelsea Whittle, Glenn Huntley, Vicky Vanderkamp from Diamond Valley, Poppy O'Loughlin, Coburg Harriers, Ella Michelle, who's an invitation, Abby Hickey from Sandringham. From Old Zavarians, Annabelle Coleman, who has also been breaking records lately as well. From Williamstown, Monique Goldsworthy, Rosie Linus from Doncaster, Annabelle Smith, Box Hill, Andrea de Jong from St Stephen's, Matilda Lestrange, Diamond Valley. From Ballarat YCW, Rihanna Watts, Emily Bartlett, St Stephen's, Deanna Postons, who's an invitation. Abby Goldsworthy, Williamstown, also Williamstown, Alexandra Schultz, Louisa Lazar from Sandringham, and Rachel White from Doncaster. 19 across that start line there, Michael. Very busy. I
Absolutely.
reckon let's watch. I think I wouldn't be surprised if White from Doncaster bolts out. Also, maybe Vanderkamp might dash early.
Few very familiar names. The junior names do get familiar by the volume of racing that they will do across a season, and quite a few racing each other as well. So as we mentioned earlier, these junior races, just another great opportunity for these junior boys and girls to race in their own age groups.
So
girls, I didn't call you up to your mark.
I'm not too sure of the
Wait.
classification,
I know you're anxious.
so I won't call that, but she has broken a record
On your
already
mark.
this season. So it looks like Postons. Looks like Postons is the one who wants to take the lead. Sorry, that is, I picked it White. White and Postons, we saw them also at the last meet. I think Postons loved getting out the front. And you've also, gee, what a bib number Matilda Lestrange has got, 1111. So
Yeah, that's an easy one.
And we've got one of the Goldsworthies just tucked in on the inside there.
Yeah, Monique has the fastest seed time.
Not too far behind her as well. Then de Jong, you see Saskia Lloyd just starting to move up past Linus. Vicky Vanderkamp also starting to make a bit of a move too, because the pace is reasonably decent here, Michael, and they don't want to be too left behind early on.
Yeah, and that's the thing with these junior races as well. You want to go with the pack, even if the pace is a little bit hot for you. It's a matter of just finding your way in those early stages, and it is quite dense. Although their PBs and seed times are quite widely spread over a minute to a minute and a half, the pack is pretty thick early on. It's not that long train that we've seen in the first few races, Tim.
Yeah, now a lot of the front girls will be looking for that 10-minute mark. I think we might have one based on seed who's done it under, and they're right on that pace early on. So nice pace making there, and there's not much change out front. So they're quite content for White to lead it because she is used to being in that position.
The pacemaker by default, we've been lucky enough to have a couple of pacemakers in the first few 3,000 metres. Now the girls are going to have to do it themselves, but there's always a couple that are more familiar with that task than others who like getting out early and just setting that metronomic pace.
So Fiki Vanderkamp now taking the lead, the young girl from Diamond Valley, having a good season this year. A stranger teammate just hopping around, getting into the inside lane there, and then you've got Goldsworthy to the outside there. That's Monique.
Another battle of the, well, we'll say the family members.
Yep.
A few family member battles. Sisters this time, not a mother, daughter, father, son.
No, definitely sisters, part of Team Matthews. And part of that very strong program coming through Williamstown at the moment. So you can see Linus just sitting to the outside as well. So Rosie's been another one of those sort of big improvers over this season. So 3-2-6-4, that's Rosie Linus, just recently joined Doncaster. So her teammate White easing forward alongside Vanderkamp, who is, I think Vanderkamp's the Victorian under 25,000 metre champ.
Oh, there you go. She'll have that that strength and fitness to carry her through. This will feel like a sprint to her.
So Linus just sitting to the outside there of Lloyd. De Jong quite happy to sit back. And then we've got Abby Hickey. Hickey's another interesting one. Definitely doing a fair bit of triathlon as well. So, which isn't a bad thing to be doing over the Victorian summer. So Hickey getting a little bit of strength, and we're seeing that also from some of the Williamstown girls, particularly Lucinda Rourke, competing in the 2xU series.
Yeah, for sure. The triathlon's a good one. It's just getting that fitness in and almost not specialising too early is just saying that, you know, your junior coaches you'll hear from quite often, just diversifying, doing different sports, and you know, if you have to do triathlon, you at least still keep the running element.
Yep. Vanderkamp so she's out front again.
Feeling
Goldsworthy
quite...
girls lurking.
Yeah, Vanderkamp just looks quite happy in that front position. Doesn't seem to phase her.
Yep.
The pace is dropping ever so slightly off that 10-minute pace. We're more looking around that 10-10, 10-15 sort of mark now, but it's turning into more of a race than a time trial.
Yeah, now it is starting to stretch, but you're seeing some of the girls in particular have really got good poise, and one I'm looking at the moment is Linus. He's just showing no signs of stress and still a good movement pattern. White's not looking too bad. The Goldsworthy girls are strong. They're really going along nicely.
Comfortable training with each other, comfortable racing with each other, know where each other are at.
And Alexandra Short's also one of their teammates in that lead bunch. De Jong now starting to make her move forward. Hickey working hard. She's going to come alongside. I think that's Lestrange in that next position. So these will be our two top seeds out front now, Michael.
It makes sense they fall into that position about at the halfway mark. We always say get 4 or 5 laps through a 3,000 metres, and then we'll see see how those last couple of laps go.
Yep.
You definitely want to feel getting that good position early on. It's almost like that second pack's forming, though. They'll help each other out. Vanderkamp's been leading for so much of the race as Goldsworthy just gets up on her shoulder, but she doesn't look like she's going to pass with gusto, if at all, by the time we round that bend into our 5th lap.
So Linus moves into 3rd position, and you can see Schultz is just primed and going to the outside there, looking ready to go. So Abby Goldsworthy just off the back of Linus at the moment. De Jong in a little bit of a race of her own there at the moment. As you can see, that's a good image, and you can see those gaps starting to form, Michael.
Yeah, it's kind of cool having that second camera on the back straight to refer to as well, to give a bit of insight to the whole race, especially these races that are more spread out in the early stages of this evening. But as we can see out the front of the field, Goldsworthy does not pass Vanderkamp. Vanderkamp keeps her lead. She's more comfortable there, and Goldsworthy has to settle for the spot up on her shoulder.
So 3 to go.
Rosie Linus, as you called it, Tim.
Linus.
She's bridged that gap. She'll any second now will get closer and closer to the heels of Goldsworthy and just sit in. She has a seed time of 10:30, but she's going to get well under that if she holds strong for the last couple of laps here.
Yeah, you can see her still bouncing on the track, and that's the important thing at this as we approach that last kilometre. Still have the bounce coming through, and Linus is certainly demonstrating that. So we'd be hoping they're not going to be, they're the wrong side of 10 minutes now.
Probably more looking at around that 10-20 mark they might have slipped to. But as we said, we're looking more for the race. And also the athletes further back in these second and third packs. We'll still see plenty of PBs on the track tonight.
Vanderkamp decided she wants to go a little bit harder here. She's got I think a PB of 10:10 thereabouts.
She might still be a chance if she closes hard over this last, almost 1 kilometre, 1.1 kilometres she has to go. She is in a chance for that 10:10 PB if she increases that pace, which she looks like she's doing. Goldsworthy and Linus just holding on to that pacing that they've set.
So 2 to go now.
2 laps to go.
So interesting to see Linus's move here. I think she's looking too comfortable in that position. She probably should overtake.
She's waiting for an opportunity to pass.
So Abby Goldsworthy next. Then Schultz. De Jong's done a good job to get into that second pack. Hickey looks like she's just seizing up a little bit. Shoulders are up, not looking totally comfortable. Then it's Lestrange in next position. Emily Bartlett coming through as well in St Stephen's colours. But down the back straight, Linus has slipped into second position. So 600 out now.
And Vanderkamp is extending that lead. Still not sure if she'll get that 10:10. She's going to have to really work for it. But yeah, Linus is said looking far more comfortable than Goldsworthy as the race progresses. Goldsworthy still holding strong in that third position, but Linus is, I don't know, from this position almost looks like she's bridging that gap to Fiki Vanderkamp ever so slightly. Don't know if she'll have enough time to make up that distance in the last lap. We'll see how it plays out.
We certainly will. This will be an interesting last lap as we see Coleman coming through to get the bell. Sorry, 2 laps out, but now it's Vanderkamp. She will get the bell. Linus only 5 metres back. This will be a good last lap. I don't think Goldsworthy can get back on. It's a race in 2.
Interesting to see that difference in styles as they were coming up that front straight as well, Tim. Vanderkamp just ticking those legs over so quickly, and Linus just looks like she's sort of bounding across the track as we can see a girl slide on here.
For a young girl like Linus, is how much do I want this? You know, she's probably thinking, I didn't come in to win this, but now she's in that winning position.
So maybe
how
I
much
did.
Does she really want it? And we're going to find that out very shortly. Does she really want to go into the hurt locker here to try and overtake Vanderkamp, who is running it's a gutsy performance out front?
Oh, absolutely. She hasn't wanted to do anything but lead Vanderkamp all race, and she still does. As we see the real gap, only 3 or 4 metres as we round the bend, 200 metres to go. Vanderkamp is looking very, very strong. As much work as Linus has done to catch up, it might all be too late for her.
The indication here will be whether she goes wide as they come into the straight. That's what I'm watching for. So we're just watching that body language, and we see Vanderkamp has come out to lane 3. Coleman thinks she's in the race here, but she's got an extra lap to go. So Vanderkamp wants it. You can tell that. She really wants this win, and she's going to take it. So Vanderkamp will take it. 10:23 thereabouts. Good run by Linus. Looks like she could just go for another lap or 2 or 3. Goldsworthy next. De Jong, good run by her. That was strategically well placed. And our early leader, White, she's hung on nicely there. So she's about the 10:40 mark for Rachel White.
So season best or PBs from De Jong and Linus in that race, which is pretty impressive. Schultz comes through next. Our athlete from Sandringham in Matilda Lestrange. She was up there early in the race as well. Annabelle Smith crosses the line, the athlete from Box Hill. Emily Bartlett from St Stephen Harriers from Poppy O'Loughlin
in the Coburg Harriers uniform. And then I think Postons might be
Tiana Postons. She was leading very, very early on, maybe the first couple of 100 metres, Postons.
Chelsea Riddle might be the next one through. And a couple of athletes with still a lap to go, including Annabelle Coleman on the last.
Louise Lazar and Rihanna Watts.
Yeah, from the Ballarat YCW club. Once again, we'll see a reasonable representation from the Ballarat clubs here.
Ballarat, Bendigo becoming the powerhouses that they sort of always have been, but it's good to see their numbers just increasing in recent years.
Well, I think Bendigo would like to think they're now surpassing Ballarat when it comes
Bendigo,
to
the new Ballarat.
Yeah.
No, well,
Let's get some rivalry going, Michael.
Yeah.
Inter-regional city.
All right, on
rivalry
paper, I'd back Ballarat, Bendigo then. I've said it.
So Coleman coming across the line now. So about 12-16 there for Coleman. Just holds the chest, maybe a little bit of a stitch going on. So Ella Michelle will be our final finisher here, going down the back straight. Still looking pretty good too, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. She's got a season's best time of 14:15. So, strong last.
Well inside that.
Absolutely, strong last couple of 100 metres. She will well and truly rewrite that PB. So next event on the track will be the junior men's race, which will also be an exciting one. Got a few regular, few big names in this race for a field of 24 competitors.
I think I'll let you read the field list, Michael.
We'll wait till the athletes toe the line and we'll see a time from Ella Michelle. So 14:15, Ella Michelle's PB. Checking her watch, but she knows she's going to go well under that 14-minute mark.
And great finish too. She's looking strong. So
45 seconds.
Yeah.
So well done, Ella Mitchell. Young 15-year-old invitation athlete there. And that's our junior boys. Next on the track.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next event, event number 5.
Okay, 24 starters we have in the men's junior 3,000 metres, and I'll do my very best to read this succinctly. Here with hip number 1, we have Rory Craig of Knox. Hip number 2, Andrew Dorrington, Invitational. Hip number 3, Terry Tsatsakis from Glen Huntly. Tatsaridis from Glen Huntly. Zacharides.
Give me the Greek names.
Yeah, okay, all right. We'll go with that tactic. Okay, hip number 4, Logan Tickle from Bendigo. Hip number 5, Archie Noakes from Essendon. Hip number 6, Bailey Wilson from Chilwell. Hip number 7, Sam Bunnage from Mentone. Hip number 8, Matthew Buckle from Bendigo University. Hip number 9, Ty Davis from Essendon. Hip number 10, Finn Kane from Williamstown. Number 11, Jared Turab from Maccabee. Number 12, Fabiano Audrard from Collingwood. Number 13, Campbell Brooks from Box Hill. Number 14, Brandon Muscat, Western Athletics. Number 15, Charles Chandler from Eureka. Number 16, Daniel Chen from Box Hill. Number 17, Nicholas Martin from Knox. Number 18, Logan Janetsky from Glen Huntly. Number 19, Eric Trickle from Knox. Number 20, Hudson Bucci from Mentone. Number 21, Kaylin Luong from Box Hill. Number 22, Ned Buckle, the other Bendigo athlete. Number 23, Aidan Muscat from Western Athletics, Brandon's younger brother. And number 24, Caden Murray from Diamond Valley. I think I did okay there, apart from the Greek name.
You did very well. Some interesting names here, though. The Buckle boys from Bendigo, they're two to watch. Also, Caden Murray's having a pretty awesome year. He's broken 4 for the first time over 1,500 and run an 8:40.3000 and didn't make the De Castella. So that shows you how strong
that's
the De
strong,
Castella
yeah.
was in 2021.
Behind the line,
The Buckle boys, we've seen them race a few times this season, and they're just that. They're great racers.
Yeah, they are.
Like, they've always been towards the front of the field, kind of battling each other out. Sam Bunnage has been right up there as well amongst those boys. So we'd expect to see them towards the front of the field. Ty Davis is another one as well who will be in that mix early on.
Yeah, and Archie Noakes, definitely one to watch for too. He's a big improver in the Essendon uniform. And we're seeing a few of the bigger boys, or the older boys here. Murray taking the lead, then Noakes, then Buckle, Logan Janetsky. I still want him to grow his hair. Get that hair out, Logan. It really was a trademark.
Oh, I remember, yes. the long flowing locks.
The long blonde hair.
Yeah.
But, he's cut it back, and he's actually been racing very well with the short hair. So
there you go.
It could have been a good strategy.
Just go the headband that Noakes has in second position.
Yeah. So Caden Murray doesn't mind leading as well, and he's certainly setting a good pace here. And let's watch them as they go through 66. They're on 8:15 to 8:20 pace. So
righto.
They have gone out nicely.
Why not?
So they're ahead of the PB pace for these guys. As I said, Murray's not afraid to do this. When it works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't. But
he'll put himself in those positions.
He's put himself in the position, and he's got Noakes and the Buckles. Also, Bunnage is up there as well.
And a night like tonight,
that break already, and you're seeing Bunnage actually struggling to keep on that lead pack.
And he's usually an athlete who will be right up there with them if the pace was what it should be, which means they are going out quickly.
Then
and
Tickle and Chandler going along nicely. Charlie Chandler's been another big improver this season under Rod Griffin up there at Eureka. Ty Davis, I think, might be in that next position.
And an absolute night to do it as well, Tim. Last race of the season for many of these athletes before Nationals, of course. But as we said, there's no wind in the stadium. It's a nice 22, 23 degrees, I reckon. It's set up for quick racing, and they've absolutely set the pace early.
Yeah, they're sitting now into the 8:20s, so that's settled a little bit. And this is, I think, if they can just maintain this rhythm on around that lap pace, they're going to set themselves up for some PBs. And for most of these, a sub 8:40 will be what they're after.
And the best thing about this as well, we saw a race earlier on in the season with Noakes, who he was the breakaway from the peloton, and now they've almost they've formed such a great pack out front that no one's going to have to do it by themselves. Everyone will do it together, which makes the job a hell of a lot easier. And Bunnage as well, we said he's sort of dropped off the pace, but it's all relative. He's kept that 20 to 30 metres off that pace as he was about 500-600 metres ago. So, Bunnage will hold his own pace strong. He'll just have to do it by himself. But, he might even pick up a couple of these boys later on in the race.
Yeah, well, Bunnage is coming in with an 8:47, so he isn't a sub 8:40 at this stage, so which is the pace that they're on. So it could be a good move from Sam Bunnage here just to keep back. And you see Tickle going through the 800 now, sorry, the 1200 mark. Chandler just dropping a little bit off the back of him. But gee, Caden Murray's doing a great job of just setting pace up here, Michael.
He's almost looks like he's acting like the pacemaker, and it must be a Diamond Valley thing with Fiki van der Kamp doing it earlier in the race, looking just so comfortable in the lead.
Yeah, well, hats off to Coach Max out at Diamond Valley. We've got a great squad at Willinda Park, and Caden Murray certainly is one of those, and Fiki van der Kamp another.
Not afraid to get in there and race.
Yep. So Tickle now moving ahead of that lead, or that chase bunch. You've got Eric Trinkle now going past Chandler. I think he's got Nicholas Martin on his tail as teammate. So Noakes now taking the lead. Murray just sitting back now. It's going to be interesting to see what Caden does here, where if he can just sit in that pack and have a bit of a break, going at a good pace. So 4:35 through the 1600. So still around a bit over the 8:30 mark, not much over 8:30, so still PB. Now, the interesting thing for Murray now, can he hang on?
Yeah, he's done the work early. It would be a shame for him to see him being spat out the back so quickly. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. In saying that, maybe it is.
Yeah. So it's Matthew Buckle, the first of the Buckle boys. He's in the Bendigo Uni uniform, and Ned is in the Bendigo Region uniform. Janetsky looking strong there.
He looks comfortable just sitting on the back of the Buckle boys.
And ready to cover any moves.
But unfortunately, Murray, he's done a lot of the work early, which was gutsy, but it has cost him. But we say it's cost him. If he hangs on strong for these final 3 laps or so, there's no reason why he can't still run a solid time tonight. It will give Bunnage someone to chase for sure in these final stages.
So Matt Buckle now takes the lead. Janetsky made a very good move there to actually get on the back of Noakes, but G Buckle is looking strong.
How quick do they look going past that discus cage, and the athletes are there going one lap ahead now. These boys are on tonight, and it's going to be some impressive times so they close in.
Wouldn't say he's a great stylist, Matt Buckle, would you? But he's got good form.
It's what's the opposite of symmetrical?
Yeah. Well, Janetsky is symmetrical.
And how good is this? It's what's that? The 5th or 6th lead change so far since Murray's dropped off.
So
2 laps to go.
Matt Buckle makes the response there to Janetsky. Ned's playing the smart game though. He's just sitting in that 4th position.
And I said at the start of the race, the Buckle boys are great racers. They've been there from the start. They've been toing and froing. They know how to train together, know how to race together.
Yeah, I reckon Noakes is ready to go again, though. This is fantastic racing.
And they're heading for a time just a tick over 8:30, and they're not slowing down at all.
No.
600 metres to go. The pace is only going to increase for the top of this field.
But I think they've dropped Ned. Could be a race in 3 now.
So Matthew, Archie Noakes, Matthew Buckle, Archie Noakes, Logan Janetsky. It is a race in 3, and they are heading for around that 8:30 mark. Still looking forward to seeing a bunch of PBs for the people later in the field, but 1 lap to go, 7:20, 7:22. They will be looking to close quickly as now Noakes charges towards the front of the pack.
They've got a bit of traffic to get through as well, which could play into this. Janetsky's looking pretty strong. Just checked a little bit by Buckle there. So we're going to see the strength of Buckle against the poise of Noakes and also the beautiful style of Logan Janetsky. Let's just see how it plays out. This is a fascinating race.
And Janetsky just being gapped a little bit by 4 or 5 metres from Noakes and Buckle. Noakes and Buckle, the gap hasn't changed too much in the last 100. Noakes is just starting to stride away now past that discus cage on the back straight. 150 metres to go, Tim.
Oh, what a beautiful run by Noakes. He's just starting to... I can't see Buckle having the oomph to get past him now, and Noakes just sets his sights on the cones. He's going to come out to lane 3, and Archie Noakes is going to take this out. But, geez, strong running from all of them, isn't it, Michael? Impressive.
Hot times as well. This is...
Look at the time. It'll be sub 8:30.
Wowee. 8:25, 8:27, 8:28. Huge
Janetsky
running.
Got it as well. Sub 8:30 for
Sub
Logan.
8:30. Yeah, that's massive.
So Murray's not going to be far off his PB here.
And we said
if he can right on it, I think.
If he can
right
hold
on the
strong,
8:40.
he'll still run a great time, and he has.
Yeah,
that's great to see.
Ned Buckle will be next one through. It just shows the attrition rate because of that pace early on.
And we talked about Sam Bunnage earlier in the race running a smart run, and he's coming through for a...
Not quite a PB. Well, Nicholas Martin,
not too far off.
Yeah, Nicholas Martin's coming through. He's a sub 9, so is Trinkle. And Logan Tickle just the wrong side of 9 minutes, but a good run from him.
Just quick running for some juniors. This is Brandon Muscat there from the mighty Western Athletics.
So Chandler through in about 9:16, which is probably around PB shape for him, I think.
Ty Davis as well. He got a PB by about 10 seconds, going around a bit over 9:20. Now, what was that Greek name that we decided that you'd say at the start? Zacharides. I think he would have been very, very close to that 9:25 mark that he had listed.
Rory Craig coming across the line here from Knox with the... He's got the Janetsky locks now. Finn Kane, another one of the Williamstown runners.
Finn Kane, 10:10. He got a 15-second PB from Finn.
Fantastic. Another one of our Chilwell runners coming through there, and that is Bailey Wilson.
Daniel Chen, seed time of 10:40. He's going to go 20 seconds below that, 10:20. Massive run on his home track. And a bit of a battle.
So that's Andrew Dorrington.
And Aidan Muscat to close.
And
Fabiano Aguillard, 10.50, and he's gone under his PB as well. Really is.
We lost one. Can't remember who, we lost one.
I'll introduce this. So, Michael, we're now moving to the women's A 3,000 metres. So, lots of interest in this one. Let's introduce the field. In Station 1, we have Kelly Thackeray from the United Kingdom. Coburg Harriers, Neve Tabbert in 2, Simone Maladay from Collingwood Harriers in 3. Tess Rhodes Deacon in 4. Charlotte Wilson, I think, might be doing a pacing job from Athletics Essendon. Juliet McBurney, St Stevens in 6. Karina Fife, Glenn Huntley 7. Nicolette Lesberg Mentone in 8. From the ACT, Leanne Pompiani in 9. Diamond Valley, Shania Murray in 10. Abigail Thomas, Western Athletics in 11. Rebecca Waters Deacon 12. In 13, Annika Sarpis from Athletics Essendon. 14, Frankston Athletic Club, Sarah Klein. Her teammate Gemma Maney in 15. Tully Rowe, Bendigo University in 16. Ruby Smee, Tasmania in 17. And Dana Deckers from Glen Huntley in 18. So field of 18. Top seed, I think, would be Thackeray. She's run a 9.07. Recently, we haven't seen a lot from Thackeray. We've seen her doing some pacing jobs. But also, we'd be looking, Pompiani wouldn't have come down here just for a holiday, so 9.20 is her PB.
We talk about coming from Bendigo is a long way. Coming from Queensland is a bit.
So Leanne's got I think in November 2020 she ran a 9.20, so Leanne Pompiani's certainly one to watch for as well.
Sarah Klein, Gemma Maney, teammates from Frankston as well.
Yep.
They'll be looking to go quick, both Australian representatives.
Yes, they certainly are. One in cross country, the other in marathon. And they are running similar sort of times. They've been finishing very close together lately, those two. So that should be another good battle.
On your mark.
The buzz at the Box Hill Athletics track is as good as it looks on the back straight on the screen. Community athletics, local club, but some fast times and great racing going on tonight. So Kelly Thackeray takes the early lead, the athlete in all black.
So Pompiani just getting to the outside of her. 2.084. Karina Fife up there, Gemma Maney, Charlotte Wilson sitting in the box there. So this will be interesting. If Wilson doesn't take the lead, she's not pacing.
Yeah, which was the inside goss that we got earlier on. So we will see after a few hundred metres when they start to settle.
So you can see Ruby Smee midfield just behind Sarah Klein now. Apparently someone said she'd run a 9.05. I haven't found that, but I have found a 9.18. Okay. So certainly one to be watching here as well.
Yeah, Katrina Fife, she's the athlete from Glen Huntley in towards the front of the field, 5th position right now.
Yep.
So a few of these athletes that we mentioned earlier, Tim, they are settling into that top half of the race.
Yeah, so Thackeray leading Pompiani, then Maney, Fife to the outside, Wilson on the inside. Smee, also she's to the outside there of Sarah Klein. Neve Tabbert in next position. Waters to the outside there. You can see Lesberg. Tucked behind her is Murray. And Rhodes also on the inner rail there.
And the pointy end of the field going through and around, well, it was 75-second first lap, which is around your 9.20, 3,000 metres. And only a couple of athletes in this field have run that quick before. So hot pace to start with. We'll see if they can maintain throughout the race.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that this gap is forming. I reckon there's probably 3 different races in one here.
Yeah, and that probably would be the logical cut-off that you would have tipped early on, or when you saw the start list.
Now, probably one surprisingly up the front there at the moment is Karina Fife. I think she's been running pretty well, but that is a good position for her to be in at the moment.
So Charlotte Wilson must be racing, not pacing.
Yeah, well, Fife comes in with a 9.44 PB and a 16.51 recent 5K. So that 16.51 indicates she is in pretty good shape at the moment. So Tabbert and McBurney, then Waters in that next little battle. And then we've got Lesburg.
So Callie Thackeray, she we said she's done a few pacing jobs so far this season. She's not pacing right now, but although it looks like she is, she's once again, like a few of the other athletes earlier on tonight, she's looking comfortable up the front of that field.
Did run at Collingwood? I wasn't at that meet.
She ran at Collingwood.
I think she did.
It escapes me whether I'm pretty sure she did race actually.
Yep.
Can't remember the result she ended up getting. Sinead was the overwhelmingly impressively athlete there.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't at the meet, so I'm relying on your memory, Mr. Masseni, and it's failing us.
I'm going to take a stab and say she came a solid second behind the 15:30 that Sinead ran.
Yep. So 3:07 through the K.
So Thackeray, Pompiani, Wilson, Maney, Fife, Klein and Smee are your top 7 in that train that's going around the Box Hill Athletics track for this women's A 3,000 metres.
It would be nice if we did a camera shot of the sky at the moment. It is absolutely
perfect
sunset here and not a breath of wind.
Just illustrates the conditions perfectly, I think.
It is just gorgeous, and conditions, as we're saying, absolutely perfect. So I'm expecting to see some big runs here. We might see through this midfield as well some big times. Looking at Lesburg there coming through, Murray on the back of her.
And still
Annika Sarpis in there. She's well into her 40s now, Anna, and gee, she's dishing it up to the younger crowd at the moment.
That is great to see.
Yeah.
And still on that 9:20 pace as well, 75-second laps. Callie is doing a great job out the front of this field, just setting that pace.
Yep, you can see what we're seeing here. In fact, the colour's a little bit richer and deeper than that, but it's a beautiful night.
Put a filter on it, please, to do justice to what we're seeing ahead of our eyes.
Right. And my intel is telling me it was a 16-14 to Callie Thackeray at the Collingwood race. So thank you, Campbell Maffett, for that little bit of info.
In second position, though. I'm sure I got that part right.
You got the second right. All right, so we're seeing Fife just drop off a little bit, and that's probably indicative when we look at the 5K times. You know, we've seen Klein going through in 16:20 here at Box Hill.
And Thackeray and Pompiani just bridging a bit of a gap.
They are. And Maney's thinking about going past Wilson, and she's going to do it. Smee sitting in a good position there. It's amazing the reach we have on live stream, because I've also had Lockie McCarthy coming in with full results from the Collingwood Classic, so we're not relying on your memory anymore.
I mean, it's not a podcast, but we'll we're going.
Yeah, so she finished, a fair bit ahead of.
Well, besides Sinead, who was outstanding, she was the best of the race, essentially. She has a solid result going in the low 16s, and it would lend itself to around a 9:23k. So the pace that they've set early on isn't unrealistic to hold in these last few laps. And Pompiani, a bit of a strength runner as well, as she passes Thackeray on the shoulder in that back straight with 3 laps to go. Or
so Pompiani looking strong, isn't she, Michael? This is a girl who's done some really good stuff over the years, and as I said, wouldn't have come down from the ACT if she didn't mean business. And Leanne Pompiani just looking very strong there.
And extending that lead before our eyes as well. Yep. Thackeray absolutely has the opportunity to hold on to the form that she's set early on in this race. So and we've still 2 laps to go as well. Smee, we mentioned early on.
Clearly in third, yep. So the Tasmanian looking quite strong. So ACT, UK, Tasmania, we're being shown up a little bit here.
Yeah, exactly. But forget about Box Hill athletes winning on Box Hill track. We don't even have any Victorians.
So 2 to go for Pompiani. She's now broken out to about 8 to 10 metres. Smee's still looking quite solid. Then we've got the Victorians, Klein, Wilson, Maney, bunched together. McBurney's having a good run here. Just gone ahead of Fife. Looking down the track. And it looks like it's Waters about to be challenged by Murray. So Murray comes in for 10:10 PB and desperate to get that sub 10.
So a 7:30 would be a nice little split coming here with 600 metres to go if Leanne Pompiani wants to head for a 9:20, and she's well and truly under that.
Yeah.
As are Thackeray and Smee in second and third positions. They're still heading for under 9:20. Pompiani's just extended that lead and picked up the pace.
So Pompiani, we're now seeing Smee going past Thackeray. So coming through, less than 500 to go now and approaching that bell. And Leanne Pompiani will have the win here. I can't see Smee bridging that gap over the last 400. This is Pompiani just kicks a little bit as she hears that bell. Good response. Smee will be next through. The Victorians starting to sort themselves out as we see Klein just getting a little bit of an edge over Wilson and Maney dropping back. McBurney in next position.
Strong run from McBurney coming through the field, Tim.
Yeah, McBurney's done a good job there. Staged or sat back early.
Been patient.
Yep, was very patient as we're seeing. And Pompiani looking very strong. So the Waters will be the next through. Gee, this is going to be a good bunch finish here. We're seeing Decker's going to the outside. Kasapis is sitting on the rail just behind Murray. So Murray just surged there. She needs an 82nd last lap to get that sub 10 minutes. Maladay in next position, then Tabbitt, and also Thomas and Rhodes. But do you want to call it in, Michael?
Absolutely. At the head of the field, Pompiani, she's heading for a time of... Oh, she'll go well under 9:20, the mark that she has come into this race seated at. Very, very strong run from Ruby Smee as she enters the front straight. She's closing strongly as well, but Pompiani, too strong, sat in early, charges home in the last kilometre, and she takes the win in 9:12. Smee second in a time of 9:16, quicker than that 9:20 that they set themselves up for early. Thackeray holding on for third position, followed by Sarah Klein.
So Wilson will be in next spot. McBurney, as we said, well raced, well paced. She's just come over the top of Maney in that last lap. Fife will be next to finish. Big battle now for the best of the rest. It's like the midfield in the Formula One, isn't it?
As we said, there was a race in three almost as they formed after a couple of laps.
Shania Murray, I've got my money on her to... Let's see if she can get... Waters is going to hold on strong. It looks like they'll get the sub 10 though.
Always good to get one of those milestones, sub 9, sub 10, sub 10 and a half, sub 12.
And Tabbitt, Thomas, Maladay, and Rhodes will be next, and I think Tully Rowe will bring in the field here. So exciting race, but Leanne Pompiani.
Yeah, it was very, very strong. So it was sitting in that second position for much of the early stages, letting Thackeray lead and set that metronomic pace in the early stages. Very smart running. And next up, we will have our men's 3,000 metres with 19 competitors as they do toe the line and get their credentials checked off from one of our officials. I will read out the starters. With hip number 1, we have Joel Tobin White. Hip number 2, Joel Tobin White Invitational is in the black singlet in lane 1. Hip number 2, Joshua McLeod of Box Hill. Hip number 3, Liam Adams of Essendon. Hip number 4, Isaac Hockey of Melbourne Uni. Number 5, Aidan Roberts of Essendon. Number 6, David McNeil of Old Zavarians. Number 7, Callan Goldsmith of Mornington. Number 8, Aaron Spiceberger Parker, Invitational. Number 9, Bailey Morrell, Knox. Number 10, Douglas Buckeridge from Box Hill. Number 11, Will Garbalotto from Sandringham. Number 12, Archie Reid, South Bendigo. Number 13, Michael Marantelli, Invitational. Number 14, Benjamin Baisha, Old Scotch. Number 15, Alexander Ritchie from Box Hill. Number 16, Liam Cashin, Western Athletics. Number 17, Will Collins from Knox, and our pacer in the black T-shirt. You have to wear a T-shirt if you're pacing, I think. It means, hey guys, I'm taking it easy, I'm not racing tonight. Tom Thorpe.
Are you giving a bit of stick to Thorpe?
Always.
We never
always
do
on the stream.
No,
Just so
he's having a good year this year.
He's having he's a Victorian 5K champ, isn't he?
Yeah, in a really impressive performance. So, and it's great that he's giving back a bit here to do some pace work as well, albeit in the T-shirt.
Yeah, another one of those athletes who has had a impressive season and started off the season doing much pacing work is Liam Cashin, our athlete with the number 16 hip number. But
he's in this race.
Yeah,
so he's an 8:14 man. Look, top seed obviously is. Well, Dave McNeil's the fastest man in the field, but that's from September 2016. I think he's 7:51. Liam Adams has got a 7:53, but that's 10 years old now. Liam not known for his 3K running.
He's known for running anything and everything.
Spiceberger Parker is an interesting one. He's from Team Telford, as we can see there on the singlet. So from the ACT, 8:22.04, and he's run a 14:11 5K recently as well.
And Joel Tobin White, Liam Adams. We were talking about the Collingwood Classic. I do remember I was in that race and embarrassingly got lapped by the two, probably about 4 or 5 boys in this field. But Joel got the win over Liam by about 10 metres, 2 seconds I think it was. Isaac Hockey had a strong run, running around the 14:10s.
Back, and his PB is quite impressive. He comes in as an 8:08 man, but he's running himself back into form at the moment. So
he was saying the 5K that he ran last week was the first 5K he ran in like 5 years. So usually a 1,500 metre sort of specialist, but as you said, coming back into form.
And it's good to see some of the youngsters too. They've really been exciting this whole season, and you can see them standing together there. You got Morel,
Bailey,
you got Buckridge, you got Garbalotto on the outer a little bit. I think Collins is in there as well. Baisha.
Archie Reed's another one.
Archie Reed's made his way up. I thought he was in the other race, but they put him up, which is good.
Yeah.
So
he's been just had a massive track season. Archie Reed, he was another one who raced last week at the Collingwood Classic 5K. And he didn't lap me though, so that was nice of him.
The big question: which Aidan Roberts is going to turn up tonight? We've seen golden Aidan and not so golden Aidan this season. When he's hot, he's hot.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see him hot. We saw him run that magnificent 3:48. I think that might have been pre-Christmas. And I'd like to see Aidan probably just cool his heels early. This pace is going to be on. He doesn't have to do anything. Just sit. Especially the first 2K.
If you're wondering who Aidan Roberts is, Mitch Dyer has given him the affectionate nickname of Red Lightning. So you'll pick that up into the race.
There's a merchandise line there. I think, Red Lightning. Good to see McNeil in his beloved Old Zavarian colours as well.
Yeah, he chops and changes the uniform a bit, McNeil, doesn't he? But the Old Zavs is a favourite.
The Old Zavs uniform. He's very happy to be slipping on the red and black. So McLeod's another one. I'd like to see what we've seen some good stuff from Josh McLeod this season. It can be hot and cold. I'd hope that tonight he's going to be quite hot. And Liam Cashin. So just waiting for the boys to get started here. Early favourite for you, Michael? Who would you be the pick for you?
Let's say Liam, just because he might want to get one back on Joel for beating him last week, and Liam knows how to race.
Yeah, no, I think I'll put my money on Joel tonight.
I mean, if I was taking it a sports bet, I'd probably do the same, but I'll throw up a bit of not that much of a curveball. It's not that much of an outsider picking Liam to win a race.
A lot of interest, though, in that mid-pack, though, the junior or the youngsters coming through. And did we mention McMinamy? I don't think we did.
Is he on the... he might be in the B race, I think.
B, okay. Oh, that's
Can't see him on the line.
Liam's
or maybe the 1500. Yeah. Pacing-wise, I believe the boys are looking for around that 750 mark. 63-second laps, which is flying. 2:37 per kilometre. So if you are someone just a rec runner, go down to just whack on GPS, try and run a 2:37. I can't do that.
On your marks.
In the starter's hands now. So Liam's dashed out. Dave's gone with him. Cashin also not mucking around. Good positioning there by Thorpe to stick wide and then just ease across.
Didn't know if he was going to get there at first.
No, totally under control, Thorpe. And that was a good example of how you do pace. Let them settle. Don't try and force it from the start. Let them settle. Yeah. So already a race in 2.
Absolutely. Last was a race in 3. This is a race in 2 with Tom Thorpe, our pacemaker, is trailed by Dave McNeil, Liam Adams, Joel Tobin-White, Liam Cashin and Isaac Hockey. They will be our top 5, and that will be the race at the head of the field, heading for around, as we said, 7:50 mark. Around that 8-minute mark for some maybe, but we'll see how that race plays out.
Yeah, Richie leading the next pack. And that includes Buckridge, Garbalotto, also Spiceburger Parker. Goldsmith sitting in there. You can see Baixa to the outside.
Thick pack to call in that second race that we've got going on, some of these up-and-coming juniors. But I would expect until our pacer and Tom Thorpe drops off, I would not expect too many lead changes in the early few laps of this race. It will be more a matter of keeping an eye on the pace of around that 63 seconds per lap, if they are going for that 750 that we've been told early on.
Not like tonight. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Even if some might not think they've got it, have a go at it. And
absolutely.
Liam running very wide at the moment.
Yeah, we said there will be no pace changes.
He's out. Yeah, it looks like Liam hasn't quite got it. You've lost.
Maybe it wasn't his night tonight. Yeah. If to pull out that early on, there must have been concerns pre-race, I think.
Cashin looking good, sitting right in that third spot there.
So a race of 4.
Isaac Hockey being brave, which is good to see.
Yeah, well, as we said, first 5K race in years he did the other night, and this could very well be his first 3K race in a number of years as well. So a bit untried.
So they're right on target, if not ahead.
Yeah, which is going to be impressive to watch that time go in those final stages, especially. It'll be interesting what Joel does because, Dave, of course, the 2 up the front of the field.
I think second pack a little bit disappointing for me at the moment. They're on 8:22 pace, which is a few of those guys have done that before. Maybe it's going to be a sit and kick for that one. They're happy for Richie to lead it around that 67-second lap, so through in 2:14.
Yeah, well, as we said, it is quite a thick pack for that second race in this race.
Yeah, so Spiceburger Parker deciding he's going to now take that pace. I think they might have been thinking, gee, we've got to get this going. Because I know Buckridge would love a sub 820, and he's capable of doing it.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, as soon as you say that, it's instantly stretched out from being a thick pack to a long train, as we'll see in the background of this camera shot very shortly. So a 309 would be nice, and that is what they get. Yep. 309,
spot on.
Going through 1,200 metres is on pace for a 750 3K.
And I think we are going to see some damage done to some of these runners a little bit later because the pace is certainly moving. Thorpe not looking as comfortable as I thought he might, just looking at the watch a bit now, but he is right on pace, and I think he needs to be told that message, just keep your rhythm, just keep them behind you. So you can see McNeil just sitting there a little bit out on the track now because he wants to get a look at where they're going.
But you're right, as you said, if the likes of Liam Cash and Isaac Hockey hang on to anything close to a 750, this would be an absolutely huge run.
Exactly, and I think we're going to see a lot happening after lap number 5 when we hit into that 2K position, maybe 1600 to 2K. I think that's when the story will unfold here. Yeah,
and we'll be interested to see later stages amongst Dave and Joel. We still see Joel, Dave is more experienced runner, Joel maybe is more dynamic runner.
Still right on target. So he's got them through to 4 laps, right on target. So well done, Thorpe. We'll give you that one.
3.5
and the
gap's
to go. Already formed. You're seeing Cashin and also Hockey just not being able to go with that pace as we see the really aggressive Dave McNeil. Look at that look on his face. He wants this, doesn't he?
Absolutely. He's, as we said, he's got the experience of multiple distances. He's more accustomed to the 5-10K running, and He's showing Joel who's boss on the track.
This is impressive.
This is unexpected.
Impressive. Yeah, well, not necessarily, because Dave is class. You know, you don't run 7:51 by accident.
Unexpected to say that we didn't put our sports bet money on him.
No, we didn't. No, but
it's not unusual.
No, can Tobin White? What can he do? I don't know. I think Dave McNeil might have this. I'm calling it early. But,
he's made a statement. That's for sure.
He has made a statement.
And Thorpe throwing his support towards his teammates from the side of the track, even though his pacing duties have finished. That pace is still on for a 7:53K.
So he actually picked the pace up there. That was about a 60 or 61. So the pace has gone up for Dave McNeil. This is really impressive.
So we go on a 7:40 town.
Is his PB. 7:51.11 is his PB.
And he wants it tonight here at Box Hill. He's making the use of these awesome conditions that we have as we see the second race on track now. Aaron Spiceberger Parker still leading out that train.
So they're into the last K now, the whole lot of the field.
So impressive from Dave McNeil.
Crowd starting to really play a factor in this now as well. The crowd are getting very activated here as they're getting excited about Dave McNeil. Cashin and Hockey locked together. This is still a good run from those two. And could they be looking down the track at Tobin White and thinking there's a scalp we might be able to take? So it is McNeil looking good down that back straight now into the darkness of the Box Hill track, and they do love it. It's cool down there. Spiceberger Parker still leading that chase pack. Buckridge with him. Ritchie looking strong. Garbelotto, Collins and Baisha also there.
600 metres to go, and McNeil has extended that lead to about, it could be 70 or 80 metres. The likes of Hockey and Cashin are actually catching Tobin White. They're only about 10 metres behind him. They're heading for about that 8-minute pace still, but Dave McNeil, he's heading for a mid-7:40. This is going to be a huge last lap, and it's all about time for McNeil. The race is his.
Can we get a PB for Dave McNeil? A guy at this age and this level of experience to get PB over 3,000, so 6:45. He's going to smash his PB.
This is unreal viewing here at Box Hill Athletics Track.
This is unreal.
The crowd is on their feet, on the back straight, track side, near the start-finish line. Back further in the field, Tobin White is almost being caught by Hockey. Cashin isn't letting the boys get away either. They are heading for a fast time.
But
check out
four
Dave.
sub-8-minute performances here. 4 in this race at Box Hill tonight. But Dave McNeil is the star. Look at this.
How's this? Everyone's yelling at him trackside. We see our early pacer in Liam Ware, Liam Adams, Tom Thorpe all yelling at Dave. Go, go, go. 150 metres to go. He's got time up his sleeve. He's going to close strong. A 7:45 would be awesome. Under 7:51 would be a PB for Dave. 100 metres to go, Tim.
Fantastic running, and isn't this good to see? Dave McNeil in Melbourne, in the Olds Variance colours, running a PB at his tender age and level of experience. He's going to be absolutely stoked with this performance. Dave McNeil, 7:45 thereabouts. Let's watch down the line, and we're seeing it looks like it's Cashin who's taken the next, and he's going to be sub-8, so from 8:14 to a sub-8 performer. So he'll stop the clock in 58.
Huge!
I think Hockey will just miss the 8 minutes, but a big run there. Tobin White in next position. Now looking down the track, I think Buckridge will be looking for that sub-8:20, and I reckon he's going to get it. But Aidan Roberts, we're seeing the golden Aidan Roberts here. What a performance from him. So Aidan Roberts well under the 20, so is Buckridge. Garbelotto will also be under 20. Callan Goldsmith, that's a big run. That's a game changer, a season changer for him. Baisha in next position. Then Reed's come through nicely. McLeod up there.
There's no stragglers in that race.
No.
Right under 8:30. That is huge.
That
massive
is
running.
Absolutely massive. Leanne Pompiani, we said you wouldn't come down for Canberra for no reason. You wanted a PB and you got it. How did it feel out there?
Yeah, pretty good, honestly. I don't run too many 3Ks or, anything too short, so I don't really know what I can do. But I was hoping for maybe around 9 minutes, and I think if I wanted that, I should have made the move a little bit earlier. But like I said, I don't really know what I'm doing.
Yeah, when you are running an unfamiliar distance, sometimes you don't have the feel, do you? And that looked that way. The pace was good, but it wasn't massively fast early.
Yeah.
But when you made the move, it was an impressive move. You sort of really just picked up that pace and went for it.
Yeah. I definitely knew I felt comfortable for about 2K. So thinking back now, obviously, I think I should have gone earlier. But I know that for in the future when I do.
It's not your main distance, though, is it,
No.
Leanne? So what's next? Where do you go from here for the rest of this domestic season?
Yeah, I think I'll do Sydney 10, which is the New South Wales New South Wales series. Hopefully, go there, run quick, and then I'll look for the half marathon in Gold Coast.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, and maybe World Cross?
Yes, that's also definitely there after that.
Leanne Pompiani, fantastic to have you down here at Box Hill.
Thank you. Thanks for putting on such things.
We are going to move to our presentations here. We're going to move to the Athletics International banner if you don't mind. So first we're going to start with our ladies winner. Our ladies winner of the Elite 3,000 metres tonight. Visiting from Canberra, Leanne Pompiani. The trophy tonight presented by College Birmingham, multiple Australian representatives at Olympics, World Championships and Commonwealth Games. That was a personal best for Leanne tonight. And the winner of our men's 3,000 metres, in a personal best that was 5 years old, the evergreen Olds of Arians, David McNeil. To quote him 2 seconds ago, he said, "I'm not done yet." And I think we agree. Again, College Birmingham now involved heavily in helping the coaching of David McNeil. So a very appropriate presentation. Thank you, Collis. So for those warming up for our elite races, we are now on 19 minutes late, but we're about to get away with our women's B 3,000 metres. B 3,000 metres is next on the track. I will call the field once they get away.
And on the track is our women's B 3,000 metres. And I'll read out competitors. There are 20 of them in this race, with hip number 1, Brianna Kroll from Box Hill. Hip number 2, Louise Ton, Invitational. Hip number 3, Victoria Skaltsonis, Invitational. Hip number 4, Carmen Imp from Box Hill. Hip number 5, Olivia Weston, Invitational. Number 6, Sarah Waters, Deacon. Number 7, Rachel Johnson, Box Hill. Number 8, Amy Herbert, Invitational. Number 9, Amy Davenport, Invitational. Number 10, Julie Norrie, Box Hill. Number 11, Rebecca Kirkham, Invitational. Number 12, Alexandra Buki Smith from Melbourne University. Number 13, Joanne Pratt from Traralgon. Number 14, Jessie Main from Diamond Valley. Number 15, Hayley George, Invitational. Number 16, Grace Muir from Yarra Rangers. Number 17, Sophie Westcott, Invitational. Number 18, Christine Ashton, Box Hill. And number 19, to round out the field, Jenna Chiffy Gray, Invitational. And our pacer in this race, who competed in the women's A 3,000 metres, Charlotte Wilson. And it is Jenna Chiffy Gray invitational athlete who is sitting right on the heels of our pacemaker in Charlotte Wilson. Her PB is an 11:30, but some of the faster athletes in this race will be heading for around that 10:30 mark.
Yeah, well, Jessie Main's probably one we're going to look for. Is that one of the Waters girls as well, sitting in third position there? I think it is. Gee, great to see Charlotte Wilson after a tough 3K getting out there and just taking these girls through.
She's just emulating her partner Liam in what he did a few weeks ago at the Box Hill Burn, doing a 5K A race followed by pacing duties in the 5K B race. Bit of an extra training session for her.
Yeah, no, I don't know much about Chiffy Gray at all, but she's looking quite steady. One we've got to watch out for here is Julie Norney. So the Victorian 50 to 54 record is 10:51.5, and the Australian record 10:30.27. And we think that Julie is in shape for one or both of those tonight. So Julie Norney's what you can just see her there moving into, I think, fourth or fifth on the line, but fourth in the race at the moment.
And we. You might have missed earlier in the coverage that we did have a 60-plus Victorian record in the 3,000 metres earlier in the evening.
And we think Bart Leeton might have got an under-14 record.
Yeah.
Can Julie go for a 50-plus
right. We need
record?
to get this record counter.
Yeah. We've got Dave McNeil running an all-time PB. Now, we've got on the all-time list, Dave had a 7:47, but that was an indoors. So this will definitely, what's a PB all-time, and it goes ahead of that indoor time that he had recorded. So it's Wilson and Waters, then Main. Chiffy Gray next position, then Julie Norney leading the bunch. I think that's Vic Skeltonis just going to the outside there. Good to see Vic back on the track again after a bit of a horror year in 2020. Bucky Smith's the next one. I've seen a little bit of her this season, and she does impress. She ran very well in the Vic 5,000 metre champs.
And once again, we've been talking about 2 or 3 races. It kind of happens this way when these little packs are formed. It's the easiest way to race these longer events. And we do see 3 packs being formed. Charlotte Wilson still leading the way, pacing out the leading girls.
Yeah, so Main is sitting pretty there at the moment too, just deciding to get onto the back of Waters.
The outside of Chippy Gray there. Oh, Sarah Waters, I apologise, now it is, as we come into the light. So Sarah Waters on the pace, Jess Main, Brianna Kroll, the triathlete. Former swimmer now taking...
Yeah, so Kroll has taken charge of that next bunch. So Norney and Skeltonis going with her.
And on for 10:30 pace, pretty much everyone that you see on screen right now going through that K in about 3:30 or 3:20 or 3:30.
I think 10:30 would be a nice time of year. They would be quite happy. Davenport through quite good here last time we raced.
So Pratt and Herbert just going through, and Ip and Johnson's in that next little pack. And then we've got Rebecca Kirkham. So we saw Sarah Waters' sister Rebecca in the previous women's 3K doing very well. She was sub-10. Christine Ashton's leading that next little bunch. She ran extremely well here at the Box Hill Burn, I think. Christine did a really big run.
The name's familiar. See on screen now, Joanne Pratt.
Yep.
And that'd be Amy Herbert in the black singlet.
So Waters on the outside now, Wilson. Main. Skeltonis now.
So lead hasn't changed. Still Charlotte Wilson ticking off those laps in that consistent pace with Waters and Main trailing.
Westcott and Ashton, 2 training partners here from Box Hill working together.
Westcott and Ashton are next. And it is our Masters athlete, Julie Norney. Julie Norney sitting in 5th position or 6th position on the track. Now she's in 5th position. Now our pacer, Charlotte Wilson, has veered off onto the grass. So her job is done tonight. It's taken through a few laps. So it is Sarah Waters'
mark.
Jessie
So
Main.
they're sitting on around that, well, just under the 10:20.
Should be a nice time for both of them.
Yep. So bear in mind, 10:30 is the mark that Julie Norney would be looking at. That's her stretch goal there, I'd say, to get that Australian record held by Robin Bassman from New South Wales.
Yeah, she's probably thereabouts right now without seeing a actual time when she passed that line.
So Main just had a little poke over the shoulder to see who was next, and she'd see Vic Scott-Sonis. And I think Kroll is with her. Norney just sitting by herself at the moment. So as they go around the other side, we'll be...
Jessie Main looks to pass on the shoulder of Waters. She's looking comfortable and she's done enough sitting. She's ready to make the race hers. In saying that, Waters isn't going to let her do
Waters
that.
won't let her go past easy.
Not easy anyway.
Sarah's been around. She's a good strategic runner and she knows the value of that inside lane. So Main just sitting to the outside. Scalzona's going along quite strongly, as we see Julie Norney just coming into screen now. So Main just edging forward. Not much in it here.
If we can see a time on Julie Norney with 3 laps to go.
So pace is slowing a little bit. They're on about the 10:22 pace there, but I think Main might have just picked it up slightly.
And Norney more heading for that 10:35 as she went through that first.
So 10:30.27 is that Australian record that Julie Norney may have her in her sights, but she'll need a big last kilometre.
Main's taken over the control. Waters looks like she's hurt, but this is the way she runs, and she runs very effectively with that style. Scalzona's next. Brianna Kroll looking terrific. Norney just...
2 to go, and Waters isn't letting Main pass her and forget about her. She's holding on.
Waters will not let her go. she is tough.
It's a bit of a skill of hers, is it?
And you can see moving back, Ashton's got Westcott, her teammate, just to the outside of her. Julie Norney just tracking along nicely there.
And we said Norney was dropping off that goal pace of hers, although possibly an ambitious goal. She is holding strong, and the gap between her and Kroll isn't changing by that much.
Yep. So 10:51.5 is the Victorian record. Oh, we've got another record, I've just been told. Daniel Smee in the men's C 3,000 metres was a new Tasmanian M50 record.
Okay, so what's that,
Gibson
3 or 4 official?
Yep. It is just raining records tonight, Masseni. Do you want to get out and have a run and see if you can...
I kind of do, I've missed my chance. Maybe not a 1,500.
All right. Well, we'll do a 100 sprint at the end of the night.
Right. Commentator sprint.
Yeah. All right, so it's really starting to hot up now. We're going to come down to get the bell. So going through about 9.2 for Main. Yeah, no, she's definitely has got the, she'll get the win. There's no doubt. Jess Main's got this one. I can't see Sarah coming over the top. She's not renowned for a kick finish. Very impressed with Scalzonis. So let's get behind Julie Norney. She went through, not out of the question. If Norney winds it up,
which she is,
if she does, this isn't out of the question. So 10:30.27 is that time. As we see Jess Main down the back straight, looking strong.
That's our next time to watch. Jess Main will close in a quick time. We know that's going to happen. 9:38 with 200 metres to go. She's heading for a 9:20. But eyes on Julie Norney when the camera turns around to her in the closing stages. 10:30 is that Australian record that she will be chasing. And she's run such a solid run by herself for a lot of it as well, just with athletes in her sights, but not up on the heels of them. 100 metres to go for Main. We see Waters trailing in the background. She's entering the straight now. Norney holding strong around that back bend, but Main.
Norney's just coming into the straight now, I believe. This is going to be Clyde. I think she'll just be the wrong side, but it's going to be. She's going for it. Let's get the camera back.
So
you can see Sarah Waters there. 10:30.27 is what we're after. This is going to be close. Whoa. This will be an Australian record. Julie Norney She has got the Australian record.
That is huge. That's impressive. That's so impressive.
It didn't look like she was going to get there, and wow, that last 800, maybe even 600.
Well, embarrassingly, kind of dismissing possibilities mid-race, but what a close.
Norney, our new Australian record holder. So Western coming through now. Then Bucky Smith, the Melbourne Uni athlete. Our early leader there, Chippy Gray, coming through. About 11:15 for her. And Joe Pratt from Casey Cadinia, 11:24 for her. But gee, the records, Michael, keep falling here tonight at Box Hill.
Yeah, number 5, number 6 for the night. With I mean, the women's 1500 metre A race, Lyndon Hall is coming closer.
Oh, you don't? PB. Dave McNeil, must be nice running here in the Old Zavs colours at Box Hill, getting another PB.
Yeah, didn't think I'd be saying that again. Yeah, it feels really good, and we couldn't have gotten a better night tonight. Temperature's great, no winds, and had really good pacing as well.
Yeah, Thorpe set the scene. He was spot on.
Yeah.
You know, for those 4 laps, he was right on target and just set you guys up nicely. Yeah. You've now gone to 18th on the all-time list for Australia. You've now bumped Ron Clark down another spot, and you've gone ahead of your 747 indoors. What did that mean for you tonight to get that get well into the 740s?
Yeah, it's. I think it's kind of, I guess, a bit of personal satisfaction, personal validation that I'm not done yet. I'll be 35 later this year, and I set myself the goals in 2019 that I wanted to run PBs, and 2020 wasn't really the year to do that, so hopefully that's this year, and good to get the first one, and hopefully can maybe follow that up with a 5k PB at some point.
Yeah, what about moving back to the 10k? Is that on the agenda?
Yeah, I'd love to, but yeah, it's just hard to find them at the moment, and obviously challenges with travelling and COVID and things like that. So we'll see. Training doesn't change much between the two, so hopefully can kind of just keep getting ready for whichever pops up.
Well, it's great to have you supporting the Box Hill meet here again, Dave. Great to see you running PBs.
Love being here. It feels like, I mean, this is where I ran as a junior in Interclub, and it's, yeah, it feels kind of special.
It is a special night. Well done.
Yeah. Thanks, Tim.
So, bang on 20 minutes after predicted start time. Is our next big 3,000 metres. Liam Adams looks like he might help us out with the pace here, as we try to see something in that sort of maybe 840 territory, maybe something inside 840 that would be very happy with.
Then we have Clary McIntyre, Box Hill. Liam Adams is pacing. Matt Venner from Knox. Harry Shaw. Levi Howard. Kirk Shanahan from Western Athletics. Marco Pitasano. Liam Ryan Nichols from Glen Huntly, Lincoln Belgrove. John Portwood from Doncaster. Zach Norton from Geelong Guild. Isaac Bibelet, Box Hill. Robert Whites from Western Athletics. And Daniel Dunstan, also Western Athletics. And looks like we might have our paces back out again, as we see Bibelet just sitting off the back there. The two paces leading the way. Pitasano also moving up quite nicely. Zach Norton sitting in the next position. The Knox colours there, that is Matthew Venner. So, rear of the field there, we've got Clary McIntyre. So Harry Shaw also at the back of the field, and Lachlan Morehouse in the Mentone colours. So hopefully we'll get a good idea of the sort of pace they're going at the moment as they approach that 400 metre mark.
Well, I'm going to come back for my chair.
You love what I talked about here.
Sorry, Brent, I had a hand with you, so there's no 17, I think 17 might have been a D and F. Over. Yeah, we're in the same boat, so we're going to classify as a few times to finish. So Thomas Doyle has been here the way to go to the team, but she's definitely getting across the line. Two makers are getting back. Great work. Bill takes up the challenge. I've got 17 finishes on the finish line. 17 finishes. 17 we've got one of them.
Lincoln Belgrove. Seen a little bit of him this year at Milers, and he has been impressive in the Glen Huntly uniform. You can see him just sitting midfield beautifully there. Johnny Portwood looks like he's going a little bit more hair there, Johnny, and the long locks are flowing down the back straight here at Box Hill tonight in the Doncaster uniform. Angus Dalton going wide, Venner just to the inside of him. G. Bibelet looks comfortable though, just moving along really nicely. Norton also looking good. It'll be interesting to see if Zach can just hold this pace. It'll set him up nicely if he can. Just got to sit in, and Belgrove just behind him, then Dalton, Pitazano, and then Portwood working hard to get in. Robert White's next position. Then we've got Morehouse.
We talked about 840 or 830 there, maybe a time they're looking at, so we're looking at something around 250. It's going to be a bit outside that, so the pace is not quite where we thought it might be. They're going to throw in 256. So 256.
So 256 through the 1K. So probably not as quick as they want. It's in the 840s. But that's why they're probably looking so comfortable, and there's so many moves coming. You see Morehouse now making a nice little move to the side there of White's. To the back of them, Venner, Pitazano in next position. The pacemakers, I think, have lifted pace now. So as far as runners in the race go, it's Bibelet, then Norton, Portwood, Dalton, Whites, Belgrove, Morehouse, Venner.
Still going strong. Neville's doing a great job behind the barbecue. Jeremy Griffith not doing too bad either.
So a few casualties starting to form here, as you see a few dropping off the back. Pitazano just looking like he's struggling a little bit there.
Still not quite picked up. We've got a big pack of 8 here.
Liam Ryan Nichols is the man in the orange colours of Mornington Pen. And he's got a big decision to make here, whether he just latches onto the back of Morehouse. He just needs that little surge to get on, and I think he's done it, taking Venner with him. So 4 to go. Bibelet just rolling beautifully.
So 8:44 pace, 1,500 metres remain. Gus Dalton, one of the moves there I saw. Quite strong, moved for about 8 to 4 down the back straight. Bibelet's controlling.
So the pacemakers have done their job. Well, first one just going wide there. So Bibelet, Dalton just looking around. Portwood in good position. Now Norton really has to decide whether he's going to go with this pace as Morehouse comes to the outside of him. Belgrove just to the back of them. And then Ryan Nichols. So Robert White's going nicely as well. Just missed that one there as they started to reshape that front bunch. But Bibelet, Portwood and Dalton. Lachie Morehouse impressive at the moment, Michael.
Yeah, he was one of our co-commentators earlier on in the season. Now he's the man behind some of the media for Athletics Australia. He's still got time to run with all those other hobbies. He's just on the back of that pack now, and yeah, he's looking comfortable.
Good to see Zach Norton making a bit of a move to get back onto the back. He needs to now. He's just got to dig deep here. Belgrove being asked the question. Gap then to Ryan Nichols.
And Isaac, another athlete who's been just doing race after race after race. He's a regular at Box Hill Athletics Track and a regular at Milers Club.
It certainly is. And look, there's nothing wrong with that because you race yourself into form.
Absolutely. He's just those small improvements each time. And as we've said earlier in the evening, sometimes you do races, you try different things. They don't always work out. But amongst that, you get a few awesome ones as well. And so far, he's running a very smart race.
So Dalton takes the lead. Morehouse looking good. I'd be interested to see what White's can do because I think he's got a little bit of go here. Just compare the style of him and Portwood. Portwood done a fair bit of mountain running and trail running. He's really strong in those areas, but converts to track well, which is good to see. But White's looks fantastic. Has he got the go here in that lead bunch of 5? Gap then to Norton and Belgrove. So Dalton starting to stretch them, Michael. This is good.
Yeah, he's gapping them a little bit. There's only, 600 metres, 700 metres to go. Not long left in the race. And if you're going to make a move, it's about now when you start to think about what sort of run you are and if you can leave your run to the last couple of hundred metres or if you need to put it on the line early.
This is where we're now looking at facial expressions. And Robert White's, to me, is looking good.
Yeah, he's been another improver, just steady improver throughout the season. He's been doing lots of work at the running company in Yarraville, been talking running day in, day out, and now he's living, breathing PBs.
And Johnny Portwood, you just never put the glasses down on Johnny Portwood. He has got a big ticker. So look at John. Not the smoothest of runners out there.
One lap to go, and we've got an absolute shootout on our hands, Tim.
Yeah, White's he's just looking fantastic, but Dalton is tough. I'm not going to say White's has got this at this stage at all because Dalton is a tough runner. Can Portwood bridge that gap? I think it's too late now. As we're just seeing the cracks are forming there, and White's is just putting the foot down. So Dalton can go. Morehouse still looking strong, but has he got the toe here?
This would be a massive win for Robert White of Western Athletics. Dalton running strong, as you said. Robert's not going to get the win easily.
This is what they need, though. They need to be body to body here as they come around that last 200 metres.
And off camera, bang, just in click of the fingers. We saw it, you didn't at home, but we're telling you all about it. 5 metres, 10 metres almost.
Yep.
Robert just doesn't have the legs. Dalton running away from him, 100 metres to go. He's going to go close quickly over these final stages. And they're on a pace of they're on 8:33, 8:34, 8:35 right now. And they have wound up the pace and extended that lead. Impressive from Dalton.
Great last lap.
8:40 on the clock.
Looks like Ryan Nichols is dropping from the clouds. He'll take second over White's, then Bibelet. And you can see the clock there. So they're all well under the 8:50 mark. And that included Belgrove. As we see Venner coming through, he'll break the 9 minutes.
And that was a race.
That was a race.
Still is a race, but that's...
Yeah, some impressive
not
signs
simply
there.
time trialling.
To see Johnny Portwood just gutsing it out race after race still. White's, I think, has got a big future. Just needs that little bit more development. But I think we saw the first signs of that tonight. Angus Dalton, though, I've called him many times this season. And as I said, you just don't write him off because he is tough.
Not his first win of the season as well, from memory.
No.
He's been pretty impressive all season and knows how to race.
And will this be the front page of the AA website tomorrow? We see Lachlan Morehouse in the Mentone colours. And
Morehouse PBs.
Yep. He did a great job. Really did a great job.
And we move on to the next stage of the event. By the next stage, I mean a new distance. So we're going to be calling some 1,500 metres now, Tim.
Yes. So looking forward to this.
We have the men's A 1,500 metres, and what a lineup we have. From that lineup, I believe we are missing Stewie McSwain, who we did expect to be racing tonight, but I don't believe will be on that start line. But hip numbers that we do have, hip number 1 is Hamish Carson of New Zealand. Hip number 2, Jordan Williams of Old Melburnians. Hip number 3, Callum Davies of Queensland. Hip number 4, Jai Edwards, New South Wales. Hip number 5, Ben Buckingham, St Stephen's. Hip number 6, Elliot McGoran of New South Wales. Hip number 7, Ryan Gregson of Queensland. Hip number 8, Rory Hunter of New South Wales. Hip number 9, Adam Spencer, Glenn Huntley. Hip number 10, Matthew Ramsden, WA. And hip number 11 was Stewie McSwain, but as we said, we don't believe he's going to be towing the line tonight, unfortunately.
So Alex Gruen to take the pace. I think he got bronze medal in the Victorian Mile Championship here at the Box Hill track. So Gruen not long back from the UK and running himself into good form. So we'd expect him, you know, I'm not sure what the pace strategy is. I'm not sure if we're privy to that at this point, Michael.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have heard that a couple are going to aim to go under that Olympic qualifying standard of 3:35 dead for this race, for the men's 1500. So, yeah, pace for that would be 57 seconds per lap. So Alex Gruen, you know, you'd assume would be setting him up for the first couple of laps at around that 1:54 through the first 800 or thereabouts.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of interest as they go through that mark, Michael. We'll try and pick that up as they go through.
Matthew Ramsden, one person who has gone under the mark ever so slightly with a 3:34.97. Someone else to watch, obviously, Rory Hunter. Jai Edwards had that massive win at Melbourne Track Classic, Tim.
Yeah, and also Canberra. That's where we saw the best of Jai Edwards, where he just ran a beautiful race there in Canberra. And he will be very interested to see how close he can get. You know, we've got some of the up-and-comers as well. You know, we have got Callum Davies, you know, World Under-20 rep. You've got Elliot McGoran, also, you know, born in 01. Adam Spencer, what do you say? You know, 3:41 to win the Vic Champs, and then 3:39 at the MTC. That was a great run by Adam, and he's certainly maturing beautifully. So let's see what, you know, it's good to see Adam in these races, and let's see if he can get another sub 3:40 to his name, which, you know, is a mark that not so long ago was pretty rare to see in Australia, and now we are seeing it over and over again. And let's see if we can get a few more. I think Callum Davies has got a best of 3:40.05, so I think Callum would definitely love to be in that sub 3:40. And what a racer Callum Davies is, though. You know, this is one guy who never disappoints. He's a good tactician. He'll always have himself in good position. And that's one I'll really be watching, as well as McGoran. And then, of course, you've got, you know, Ramsden.
Yeah, we haven't even mentioned Gregson, because it's a given that he's just gonna have a strong run. Hamish Carson, we haven't mentioned him. He's a Rio
he's a 3:36.25 runner. So
just throw him in the mix.
And Geordie Williams, of course, just you can see Geordie getting ready there, and let's just see how he settles himself into this race. Probably was disappointed with his Melbourne Track Classic performance. And let's see if, both Gregson and Williams probably didn't think that was the best of themselves. And let's see if they can pull something more out tonight here on the perfect night at Box Hill, because the MTC night was far from perfect. So Rory Hunter, another one of the Team Telford runners there as well. We're just getting the crowd in order here, a bit of crowd control.
Thank you to Nick Wall on the mic.
On your the stadium mic, and they are ready to go.
So 3:35 is the Olympic qualifying stand. You've got Carson, Williams.
All right, so Gruen to the outside there in the old Melburnians uniform, just edging over, having a look across. That was a nice way of doing it. Now he'll just settle, and Ramsden's going with him. So you've also got Jai Edwards in a good position, and I think you're going to watch that from Edwards. He's not going to let anyone get too far ahead in this race. He's now going to try and assert himself and say that, you know, I have arrived on the Australian scene.
And it is almost our top 5 from the Melbourne Track Classic, settling in at top 5 right now with the likes of Hunter, Gregson, Williams and Spencer. All in a bit of a train, but, you know, their PBs suggest they would be at this point. Gruen, they just run past us like a stampede, Tim, and they sound quick. The time that we're looking for is 57 seconds per lap, or a tick under that would be nice to set them up. Ramsden, he wants another Olympic qualifier tonight. 56 seconds going through that first 400. Hamish Carson in the yellow, we see rounding Adam Spencer and settling in behind Williams.
So Gruen doing a good job there. He's got Ramsden and also Hunter, Gregson, McSwain. Gap then to Carson, then Spencer, Davies, Buckingham. Then we've got McGoran and Hunter.
Jai Edwards absolutely making the most of this opportunity. Gregson just sitting in behind
good move
him.
there by Carson, though. He had to latch on, and he did. Gap then to Spencer.
Ramsden just setting himself up nicely. As
Gruen
soon as
working
Gruen...
hard now, but he's going to get them through on time. Ramsden looking really comfortable.
He is, and he always does, especially if he's paced around the track for a couple of laps. They need to go through into 154 to set up that Olympic qualifier of 3:35, and they are going to do that.
They're right on it. Gruen will step off. 5, 6, so Gruen's done it for them now. Ramsden leads. Edwards sitting in perfect position there. Gregson looking quite strong at the moment. Carson now just dropping back, and you see Davies starting to move forward. McGoran going with him past Spencer.
And it'll be interesting to see what sort of kick Gregson has in later stages. We've seen him in that position a few deep in the field so many times, but on the world stage in Diamond Leagues. Let's see what he can do at Box Hill track tonight as he sits in third position right on Jai Edwards' heels as he trails Ramsden, looking ever so strong, making it look easy out in front.
Edwards looks like he's got the go here, Michael. I think he's got the momentum. Gregson going with him, but Ramsden stretches out. That was a good move. So Ramsden looking impressive.
1 lap to go. They need a 56 to close to get that Olympic qualifying standard. They need to increase the pace ever so slightly, but not all that much. As Williams
making the move. So Gregson looks like he wants to go to the outside there as they come into the back straight the last time. So Ramsden still leading. Gregson still tucking in. Edwards in good position, but can he go with Ramsden? Can he challenge?
Is a race of 3 out the front. Williams has just dropped off. We can see the likes of Rory Hunter and Davies off the box, but it is Ramsden leading the way ahead of Edwards. Gregson, we've seen himself in that position so many times as Ramsden extends his lead, although Edwards isn't going to let him get away too easily.
I think this could be Edwards' race. Let's see if Ramsden can hold him off, but Edwards just firing up now. He has arrived on the Australian team. So Jai Edwards, Team Telford, what a win. Let's look at the time. He might be right there. It's going to be close, but Jai Edwards once again takes the win. He knows how to win a race. Good running there from Ramsden and Gregson. Gap back then to Williams, I think, in next. But wow, what do you say, Jai Edwards?
We're going to need to check those official results, but regardless of the time that we see on the results page, that was a once again another race. That was unreal. As you said, he has stamped his mark on the Australian scene. That's another win for Jai Edwards over 1,500 metres.
Nationals, knowing how to win a race is just essential, because that could be what it gets down to when it comes to the Olympic selections.
He says so many people now running under 340, it's becoming normal, but you've got to be the best of them running under 340, and Edwards is making sure he's doing that.
35, and let's see if we can get him under at some stage. So Edwards straight over to Ramsden and Gregson, congratulating them. So good camaraderie there between the boys.
And we're not being left much time as the as the girls are getting up on the line now.
All right, let's see if we can get a refresh and get a time on that men's event.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that.
All right, I will call the field though while we're waiting for that. And for our women's 1,500 metres, we have the Australian 1K and a mile record holder, Lyndon Hall. She's in Station 1. Station 2, Melissa Duncan. Station 3, Genevieve Gregson. Station 4, Andrea Sakafian from Canada. Lauren Ryan's in 5. Lauren Reid, the New South Wales runner, in 6. Camille Buscombe, the New Zealander, in 7. Georgia Hansen from Melbourne Uni in 8. Sarah Eckel, the South Australian, in 9. I think Claudia Hollingsworth might also be a scratching.
Yeah, we heard
Ali Sanford,
scratching.
one of the best pacers in Australia, is going to take the pace in this 9 women field, the women's 1,500.
And the pace will be around that 64 seconds per lap for a 4-minute flat. 15.
I wouldn't be surprised if they shot out a 63 early.
Just to be sure. The Olympic qualifier still 4:04, which a couple of the other athletes in the race may be doing. So Lyndon Hall will be leading the way, but Mel Duncan, Lauren Ryan, they ran impressive races the other week at Melbourne Track Classic. So be keeping your eye on them. But 64 seconds for a Australian record of 4 minutes, 0.42, and 65 seconds for an Olympic qualifying pace of 4:04.2 are the marks we'll be looking for from the field.
Just got some interesting stats through from Adam Diddick, and 2021 is just proving to be this stellar year in the men's 1500. Tonight we're going to add a lot of depth to that 335 to 340 mark, and the numbers then between 340 and 345 are at points we haven't been for a long time. So if ever, potentially, we're looking at the strongest depth there in the men's 1500 that we've ever seen. So thanks, Adam, for supplying those stats.
On your marks.
So Sanford to the outside. She'll be just edging across. So she then needs to just settle, has a look over the shoulder. Lyndon will be going with her. And then it's going to be a test of the brave, I think, Michael. Who is prepared to sit on the back of Lyndon Hall and try and chase time? At the moment, Lauren Ryan and then Jen Gregson's in that position.
Absolutely.
We've got Mel Duncan, Lauren Reid, Hanson, Sakafian and Buscombe.
And in introducing some of the ones to watch early on, we were remiss to mention Jen Gregson amongst them. She's the versatile athlete over from 1,500 metres right up until 10k on the road, steeplechase.
Yeah, she's got a PB of 4:09, so not to be sort of played with that, and around a 4:10 to win the Melbourne Track Classic.
Yeah.
But Lyndon Hall, 4:00.86 is the PB from May 2018, 4:02.02 in Canberra in that great race.
As they go through that first 400 metres in 63 seconds, as you said, Tim, that's what they'd be looking to do.
Yeah, Lyndon's not going to muck around here. She's got the qualifier. She's going to go for time.
And she's got the wheels now. Her 800 metre racing this season has just been so impressive. And
first
she's
up two in the other night in Brisbane, and she, I think, is a class above here.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of how far Ali can take her. But then again, we know that Lyndon doesn't. She's not afraid of being in front.
She's been familiar this season with latching onto a pacemaker for most of the race and then doing the work late. So it will be interesting to see how she goes, but I'd absolutely back her to hold strong in those final stages. Just a matter of how close to that 4-minute flat mark she'll get.
So Melissa Duncan starting to move up in the field just behind Gregson. As we see, Ali Sanford's done her job. Well, she's still going out, but going quite wide on the lane there. So Lyndon basically on her own now. So Gregson, Duncan, Reid now making a move over Ryan. So Ali's still in it, but I think she'll get him to 8.
Yeah, and a 2:09 going through that first 800. 2:08
pace. Yep. So Lyndon, we have seen her crack home pretty well over the last 400. Buscombe's making a big move. She's gone from last into second position.
The 5 to 10k specialist showing her wheels over the shorter distance.
So Gregson. Then we have Duncan, Reid, Ryan, but out front, all on her own now. Gee, this is impressive running.
How awesome is it to watch Lyndon Hall just stride out around the track, so smooth.
So we're being treated to quite a display here, Lyndon Hall, just showing that in the 1500 currently in Australia, this girl is a standout. She stands alone, coming through to get the bell. Time check there, 2:57. I
63 seconds to close.
See a sub 4 minutes here.
Especially with the crowd here at Box Hill, Tim, we always know they get their athletes home. They're on their feet.
Giving her the best support you can get in Australia. So Lyndon Hall into the back straight now. She is well ahead of the field. So Nick Wall getting the crowd really going now, and they've got them on the track.
They are going.
They are
Lockie
going.
Hurd, Liam Adams, they're all cheering her down the back
looks like
straight.
Duncan's now into the second position now, but they're probably 60 metres back.
200 metres to go. She has about 31, 32 seconds to close, and she could do it.
Close. So it'll be close to the 4:02, I think. So yeah, I can't see the sub 4 going here, but gee, she's given it a nudge.
She's given it a red hot crack.
So strong, so powerful. Just the queen of the 1500 metres in Australia. We're seeing one of the best runners in Australia over this distance ever, and justifiable. It's going to be close. It's going to be. Yes, she's got it. We think she's got it. We'll wait for the official timing. Obviously, these can be set.
Well,
we will wait. It looks like it will
if
be.
She hasn't, that was so
Then
close.
Duncan, Ryan, Buscombe, Sakafian, Reid and Ryan. So, gee, I'd had it written off.
That was all done in that last 50 metres, if she's done it.
Yeah. Let's wait for the official time.
We're just going to have to wait. They're celebrating trackside, but we're going to wait till the photo finish results to come through.
Yes, he's done it officially. 3:59.67.
0.67.
Linden Hall, the queen of the Box Hill track.
Huge.
This is absolutely stunning.
What a treat to watch that. That was an absolute clinic.
Yep. So what an absolute fantastic run. Imagine if she's in a pack in Europe. You know, what can she do in the Olympics? You know, this girl is going out by herself and just going for it.
We said her specialty is being paced and kicking on, and she's Aussie record, huge.
Jai Edwards doing a little bit of racing lately.
That's it.
How's it been going? You've just you're winning everything that you come across at the moment. That must be a good feeling.
Yeah, great feeling. The track classics over the last few weeks have been, just great. Like I've been able to have some good races there, but I really didn't expect that tonight. Sort of knew based off previous runs I was due to run something relatively quick, but I'm just stoked with that.
So close now to the Olympic qualifier too, Jai. You were within a second of it today. So another PB. So you're still rolling on. We've got nationals coming up. Is that where you think you can do it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to count on it for nationals. Like it's always tough. I think the main thing with that is just to compete and hopefully be up there. But who knows? I mean, things have happened in the past, and just to be able to run a PB I'm stoked, and to be pretty close. And hopefully, I can just get a bit closer each run and get it.
You're going to run out of opportunities soon, though, and we haven't got this European season to rely on, as far as we know, with COVID still rampant. So Nationals is going to have a lot of bearing. What else have you got planned? What's coming up?
Yeah, well, I mean, I wasn't really too sure until tonight. Now that just shows a bit of a spanner in the works, I guess. With it being so close, we'll may as well have a crack. It might be one of the last opportunities, like you said. So if I can run well at Nationals, I mean, if the pace is on, that'd be great. And who knows, it might be a chance to run quick again.
All right, we've just had Linden Hall break the record. It's a lot of stuff going on here tonight. How good is it to be at a suburban track like Box Hill on a night like this?
Yeah, unbelievable.
This is the resurgence of middle distance running in Australia, isn't it?
It is, yeah. This is like one of the strongest sort of middle distance contingents I've ever seen for a long time anyway, and it's absolutely electric out here. Like, I've never, just the crowd that's here, it's not huge, but the amount of noise they were making when she crossed that line was unbelievable. So
and to have Gregson, Rambo, Williams in that race, you must be feeling as if you can really dish it up to anyone, but never underestimate those guys either.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, like I said, I didn't really expect that today, but you just got to race who shows up. And I mean, Stu was meant to be there, but unfortunately he couldn't make it out. But yeah, I'm stoked with that time.
Jai, well done, great running.
Thanks very much, appreciate it.
And we have our next race on the track. So our men's B, 1,500 metres, Jared Clifford is chasing his own world record for the T12 classification in a 3:41. So in hip 1, we have Jared Clifford, hip 2, Jason Clayton, hip 3, Joshua Collins, 4, Nicholas Fiddler, 5, Nathan Pearce, 6, Lachlan Hurd, 7, Nicholas Baggett, 8, Sam Williams, 9, Andre Waring, 10, Duncan Miller, 11, Harrison Carr, 12, Will Austin Cray, and 13, Ethan McMinimy. And to pace, Lockie Booney. And these are all the athletes who didn't make the A race, Tim. What a B race we have.
Not making the A race and into the B. But maybe this is good. There's probably a little bit of angst going into this race about being overlooked for a spot in that A race. And as you saw, perfect conditions tonight and great racing in that A race. But I reckon Jared Clifford is just going to take this on the chin and go for it. And it's often the best way to go. Just suck it up, get into your own race, dictate your own pace. He's got Waring as a 3:41 runner behind him. This is going to be a really good, a fantastic B race and a great opportunity now for Jared Clifford to actually prove himself. And let's see if he can get around that 3:40 mark as well. We saw so many get under it in that men's A race, and Bonnie's doing a great job out there. So we'll try and get a fix on pace as they come through. On our thing is a little bit fast. So you can see.
So Jared is the one to watch, but there's a swagger of athletes behind him who are more than capable of running in the low 340s. They're not going to...
Gray is one of those. So they're on about 340. They're not quite on pace at the moment. So they're sitting, maybe about the 345, 344, and we're seeing
Nathan Pearce doing his best to join the party.
Yep.
Helping out the likes of...
He does enjoy a good party too.
Yeah.
Duncan Miller also up there at the moment. And Jared Clifford, clear space in front of him with Waring just sitting on the heels.
Impressive from Nathan Pearce. Now that
Pearce was pierced off at the last meet when he was 350 something.
Oh, I just missed out qualifying for Nationals. This is his redemption run. I forgot about this, Tim. Thanks for...
He is, and he's showing a little bit of flesh as he comes around as well. So
Lachlan Hurd
now around the 245. Waring goes, these guys are capable of producing 55, 56 if they got the juice, and Waring's the one who goes.
Check out McMinimy up on the shoulder of Nathan Pearce, his clubmate from Western
PB.
Athletics.
It's the recent meet at the Milers, and Waring leads the way.
McMinimy might collect another PB here at Box Hill. Lachlan Hurd charging towards the finish line as well, but at Waring, he is the one to watch in the Deneen runners singlet. 200 metres to go.
So Waring, Austin Cray, then Duncan Miller, Lockie Hurd, Ethan McMinimy. Then we've got Sam Williams, Jared Clifford. I don't think it's Jared's night tonight. Hurd just starting to ease back through the field, but yet again it's that young guy from Western A's, McMinimy. We're looking at him and see what he can produce tonight, but Waring about to be challenged by Austin Cray as they come into the stretch. So it's going to be it could be another subtle crop of sub 340. 341's his PB.
Joining this.
This will be close. We'll wait for the official times.
As we said as well, clock a couple of seconds fast, so it'll be thereabouts. We'll check the official results, but McMinimy as well. We mentioned him before the race. And
that's a massive PB for him.
Another massive PB, because his last PB was already big.
I saw Pearce coming through towards the rear end of the field around the 350 mark, so McMinimy has absolutely smashed it again. But gee, good running by Waring. Didn't do much early. Austin Cray just went with him, and that really set up a nice race. As I said, not Jared Clifford's night tonight, but he certainly had a red-hot go at it.
Waring almost joined the lot of sub 340 guys that we've got.
Yeah, it's
the list almost builds.
We'll wait for the official times on that one. Let's do a bit of a refresh there.
Well, just doing a refresh on the women's results for starters. Just to remind everyone that Lyndon Hall has just broken an Australian record, 3:59.67, the first Australian woman to ever go under 4 minutes for the 1,500 metres. That was quite amazing to watch.
So Gregson second there, 4:10. Duncan also around the 4:10 mark, and Hansen 4:11. And now we just wait for this B race results as we move forward now to the 800s. The distance, Michael. So this event fairly late added to the program.
Yeah, I believe there was a missed opportunity up in Brisbane due to the COVID lockdown that got up there, and I mean, good for Pete Bowl being ever so close to that Olympic qualifier so many times, but the most recent run he was 0.2 seconds off the qualifying time, so we'll be watching out for him. But he's always joined with the likes of clubmate Brad Mathis as well, who will be running a strong race.
Yeah, Mathis is having a very good season, the New Zealander. So still no results up for the B race as we introduce the men's 800.
So can we ask athletes, please ask athletes to stop warming up on the back straight and please not running the same direction down the front straight. If I don't finish the dark, you need as much help as I can get. So please don't distract that.
So competitors in this men's 800 metres, or the elite 800 metres, is Max Rosen with hip 2 ACT. Hip 3 So back to the start of this men's A race. Hip 2, Max Rosen from the ACT. Hip 3, Chow Louis from Victoria. Hip 4, Brad Mathis from New Zealand. Hip 5, Peter Boll from Western Australia. And Hip 6, Phil Borg, who is a pacemaker from St Kevin's.
That's Borg. So racing 4 here. So 1:45.20 is the time we're after.
Mathis, Chow Louis.
And as they settle in, Borg is our pacemaker who from St Kevin's, who is charging towards the front of this pack. Boll will slip in nicely behind him. Mathis to follow, Rosen and Chow Louis. But it is going to be Boll's night here at Box Hill as he's chasing that Olympic qualifying standard of 1:45.2 seconds. He got ever so close at the recent Brisbane meet. Mathis running strong in third position or second behind our pacer. It will be eyes on the clock for tonight's race. And Mathis bridging that gap. He's getting up on Boll's heels.
Really good move by Mathis to really set himself up as they're going through around the 50 mark. So Borg steps off. Mathis right on the heels of Boll here. So this is really good running from the New Zealander.
Clubmates or teammates, and they're going to help each other out. They have been all season. And he's almost tripping up on his heels,
Mathis. Was. It looked like Mathis had the momentum and it could have gone wide there. So Boll just leads them into the back straight now. Stride for stride.
Slower start from Mathis, and he almost had that velocity as he picked up the pace up on Boll's heels. 200 metres to go, 1:18, 1:19. If they can close quick, 1:45.2 is the time they're looking for. It's a race in 2. Mathis is absolutely helping Boll out to get him right to the line. Yep. Will he pass him on the final straight, or will it be Boll's race?
This could be a bit of a blow over here. The New Zealander is going really strong. Boll just looks to the side. It's going to be stride for stride. Who's got the strength here? And it looks like it might be Mathis who'll take it out. So it's going to be right close, 46 thereabouts.
So Mathis, Boll, Rosen and one Chow Louis will be your finishers in the men's A 800 metres. 1:46, the winning time for Brad Mathis and Peter Boll.
Brad Mathis shows that he's going to be one to reckon with the Nationals. They're the fastest men in Australia and New Zealand at the moment.
Andre Waring, 3:41 man who didn't make the A race, but came out 3:42 for the win in the B. How did it feel out there?
Yeah, look good. Like, I just want to stay relaxed as long as possible, and then obviously just have a really strong finish. I've been lacking that the last couple of races, so talking to my coaches Steve and Whitey, we just wanted to finish really strong, and we did that tonight, so happy with that.
Yeah, look, it would have been nice to be in that A race where you wouldn't have had to do as much work because you did take the lead there and you had to push it home. The pacing, look, Jared just didn't have a good night tonight and he drifted back, and once the pacemaker was slightly off, I think, through 800. So what were you thinking at that point?
Yeah, look, I could feel like that second lap was just a little bit slow. Yeah, I just didn't want to panic. I just wanted to stay relaxed and just finish really strong. Yeah, and that's racing as well. It doesn't always go to plan.
So Nationals will be next for you, and a spot in the final would be the aim, I assume.
Look, I haven't done that, and that's my third 1500 now. I'm just feeling better and better each one. So
consistency's now there, Andre. 3:41, 3:42. Very rare that doesn't make an Australian national final. So those heats for the 1500 are going to be red hot, are they?
So. Yeah, I'll just go there, do the best I can do.
Good. Well, anyway, good to see you here at your own home track at Box Hill and running close to a PB, and good luck for the Nationals.
Cheers. Thank you.
Officially then, Brad Mathis, 1:46.31, just outside his PB. Peter Boll, 1:46.49.
So, lots of excitement here. Australian record, Victorian records, Masters records, Tasmanian record. It is all happening as we await for the next event. So we've got a junior 15 coming up.
Junior 1500 is next on the track. So you'll call them shortly.
So interesting race there with Bowl and Mathis. So probably the first time Mathis has taken the scalp, I think. And we're going to try and get Peter Bowl to come and do an interview with us. So conditions still perfect. Darkness has set in here at Box Hill. And we're now heading towards the junior 1500 metre race. As we saw with the junior 3Ks earlier, still a lot of excitement.
They're doing their warm-ups through here. Oh, yeah. They pull anything out.
We'll call this field once they get away.
So official result from that 800, Mathis took it out in 146.31, 146.49 for Peter Bowl. Max Rosen from the ACT 152.13 and Wang Chao Louis 156.12.
Starters for our junior 1500 will move to our presentations, I believe. So we move to our presentation. We move to our presentation to our 1500 metres. In third place in time, 336.72, Ryan Gregson. In second place in the time of 335.94, Matthew Ramsden. And a huge personal best, nudging so close to that Olympic qualifier with 335.46 from New South Wales, Jai Edwards. So presentation of the course by Possible legend here, Lee Miller. And our ladies, place getters, I'll call you across, ladies, please. Ladies, in third place. In third place with a time of 4:10.40. Tonight representing Stevens, Melissa Duncan. And in second place, great rate of form this season, race 77 and 1500 at 4:10.08, Jakeb Pearson. They're receiving checks tonight. They've just been told they have to go to a bank to do it. Not sure what that means. And in first place, in a new Australian record, fastest time in the world this year, from Victoria, Essendon Athletics Club, Lyndon Hall, 359.67. Couple of very special presenters there, Marina Shossi and Charlene Rendina. Thank you very much, Athletics International, for supporting what a wonderful night of racing it is. Athletics International, of course, does so much for our up-and-coming and star athletes. We'll move back to the track now into the men's 1500 metre juniors. I'll call them up as they get away. Races in your hands, starter.
And we have our men's junior 1500 metres on the line with hip number 1, Harrison Carr of Old Scotch. Hip number 2, Davin Chirab of Maccabee. Hip number 3, Sajan Diol he's the invitational athlete in the Box Hill kit. Hip number 4, Brad Hall from Knox. Hip number 5, Seb Farrelly of Mornington Peninsula. Hip number 6, Sam Albertson from Mentone. Hip number 7, Tyler Murphy from Diamond Valley. Hip number 8, James Hatton from Glen Huntley. Hip number 9, Archie Hewitt from Mornington Peninsula. Hip number 10, Mitchell Langbourne from Keeler St Bernards. Hip number 11, Brody Atchison from Mornington Peninsula. Hip number 12, Nathan Tiermans, invitational. Hip number 13, Spencer Storen of Knox. And hip number 14, Luke Sin of Doncaster. And as the athletes settle, it is Spencer Storen of Knox, who is a breakaway to this. Well, I was going to say a peloton, but it actually doesn't really look like too much of a peloton right now. It's a few races, a few athletes spread right across the track as Mitchell Langbourne makes his way into second, getting up on Spencer Storen's heels.
Yeah, Langbourne's one to watch here. He does know how to race and he's very strong. Storen's had a bit of a breakout year though, and you can see Sin on the inside. Also one who's had a big 2021. Albertson just to the outside there. Gee, some good talent in this race, Michael. Yeah,
as we keep saying there's a few familiar names, which means people with a lot of races under their belt as we come to, we've done 5 milers clubs, we've done Box Hill Burn, Box Hill Classic, state championships. So we're at the pointy end of the season now. Nationals is in a couple of weeks, and we expect to see the likes of Spencer Storen and Mitchell Langbourne at the head of their field with seed times of 3:59. So
interesting to see Hatton stepping up to the 15. He's been more of an 8 runner, but it is good to get the legs out over the 1500 metre journey. But Spencer Storen just controlling pace out front. Mitch Langbourne looking comfortable.
Yeah, always good to go a bit over distance and under distance when you sort of got a pet event as such that you might be training for. Sam Albertson from Mentone is the one in that 4th position. .203, so they are heading for around 3:55 pace for that 1500 metres. So the pace is on early, and you can see that as how they're so strung out across the track. It's not that bunch field that we've seen in the last few races, the A and Bs.
Starting to make a bit of a move.
Brad Hall is sitting in about 6th position, but he is moving ahead of that 2nd or 3rd pack, as we sort of said.
Gee, Storen's setting a good pace here because you can see that break now to Albertson and then the break back to Hatton. It was to see Hall just trying to slip into that little slot there. But I reckon Langbourne's just biding his time here. But Sin still there. That's a good thing.
I was just looking to see who our Doncaster athlete is. Luke Sin. He's sitting on Storen's heels on the inside of Langbourne. 1 lap to go and a time of 2:58 on the clock. Quick close would give them a sub 4, and those 3 athletes are absolutely capable of it.
I want to see how much go Sin's got here. This is impressive from him. I've seen him in this position and then go back, but I reckon Luke Sin's going to show us tonight that he's really taken the step forward this season. Langbourne is an accomplished runner. Sin is having a go. I like this. I really like what I'm seeing here from Luke Sin. He's coming onto the side of Storen, but Langbourne just is gritty. Just look at the way he puts the head down and goes for it.
And Langbourne, as we see him round the back of that discus cage there, all of a sudden you put your head up and he's got 15 or 20 metres on him. They're not going to catch him at this point.
No, they're not. But it's going to be stride for stride, which is great for Storen and Sin. They're going to push both of them through here. So time check now, it's about 3:50. So hopefully we can get both well under that 4-minute mark.
So big PB for
close.
Mitchell Langbourne and
the 2 boys.
We'll give him a 3:59. We'll give it to him. Hatton and Albertson, 4:03, 4:04, round about PB marks for the 2 of them.
Hall just dropped off a little bit there. I thought he'd be a bit stronger, but he's come through now.
We have the athlete from Dunedin Runners, Nathan Tiermans, Sebastian Farrelly, and Harrison Carr all to follow. Archie Hewitt, Brody Atchison, and Tyler Murphy all to round out the field in the men's junior 1500 metres. as we have an amazing athlete, amazing interview coming up. I don't think I've seen a frown on Lyndon's face all night. You rarely do, but...
First of all, Lyndon Hall, congratulations. Australian record here in Box Hill. How are you feeling about that?
Ooh, a bit all over the place still. I'm not sure it's sunk in just yet, but it's so nice to run well here at home with everyone around and get to share it with everyone. It's so exciting. I've like barely made it back to my bag because just want to stop and give everyone a hug.
So 4:00:86 must have been a weight around your neck for a long time. That was May 2018. It's now taken you nearly 3 years to get there. First Australian woman under 4 minutes. Special, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those things I've been thinking about for a long time, but, almost so long that you're kind of like, oh, is that ever going to happen? And, obviously with last year being so messy and not having the competition opportunities, and then, this year it was like, you know what, we've just got to make do with what we've got. We've got to set it up in Australia. And Ellie was, incredible to help me get around that first half. And, I owe her so much. So lucky to have had her, but... yeah, just so great to have everyone here to support the back straight was absolutely nuts. Loved it.
But we had the Brisbane factor as well. Not only was it the great race in Brisbane with Trina Bissett, and getting that sub 2, but also the whole fuss about COVID and those things. How did that play into your mind?
Oh, yeah, I was lucky I was already up in Brisbane by the time they declared it an orange zone and everything. So the decision of whether I was going or not was taken out of my hands, which was kind of nice. It was sort of like, well, we're here to race, get that done, and then I was on a pretty early flight the next morning, so kind of got out there as soon as I could, and the COVID test was back pretty quick, so didn't miss any training, which was nice.
With that done and dusted though, getting back to Victoria with the sub 2 800, how much did your confidence go through the roof?
Oh yeah, incredibly. Knowing that I was likely going to have to run the second half of that race on my own, knowing that I had a good 800 in my legs kind of helped me, although it was kind of still in my legs. A little bit on training at Monday, I was like, oh, hope I freshen up by Thursday. But when you sort of run a big PB over 8, you're sort of like, oh, surely there's something there over 15. So absolute perfect conditions here tonight. So
when you review the footage of this, don't have a go at me. I had you written off for the sub 4, and I went out there.
I wasn't going to break 4, so that's been reported back.
It really looked like it was, but that last 50 metres, as Michael said, that was just supreme. So you finished with a wet sail once again. Congratulations, Lyndon Hall. That's just awesome to see you do it here at Box Hill in Victoria, in front of the family, the home crowd, the training partners. You must be stoked.
So happy, it hasn't quite sunk in yet, but so great, and thanks to everyone who managed to come out and cheer. That was so great.
And for all of the live stream audience
as
well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So Piper Day goes to the front. AA. There's been 2. And they've changed after calls.
So we've got the junior women's underway here, the 1500 metres.
Yeah, and we'll run through the athletes very quickly as they're already settled. We have Kusha Diol, Freya Harris, Mia Alm, Mia Strudley, Karima Wakim, Poppy Donaldson, Sarah Black, Orla Shackloff, Piper Gray, Priya Diol. A few Diols getting around tonight, and we have Jazz Diol taking the photos, of course, once again at Box Hill Track. Ali Brooks, Ruby Donaldson, Yasmin Ostick-Smith, Alicia Frederico, and Nisa Males.
Yeah, well, Males and Federico are the two out the front at the moment, so lucky you called them last. So Federico from Coburg, she's leading. Nissa Males from Williamstown, she's just sitting nicely there. Karima Wakim, as usual, just sitting pretty on the inside rail there in the Collingwood uniform. And to the outside of her, which one was that? That's Orla Shackloff, the Sandringham runner. She's now gone to the outside and she's sitting on the inside there.
And they're going quite wide. It is a bit of a pack.
Yeah.
As we see this, they look like 4 or 5 wide.
So Nissa Males now leading it. Shackloff, then Karima Wakim on the inside. Federico up there.
And here's a bunch
Ali
of...
Brooks, she's a new one from Diamond Valley. Mentioned that club a few times tonight, haven't we, Michael? So
yeah, a bit of front running
there
from Diamond Valley athletes earlier on in the night.
All right, so it is, let's call it the distinctive pink socks. Nixon Miles, she always wears them. Looks fantastic in them as well. Karima Wakim, I will be watching her because I think she's now she's very good over the 8. In a good position as they get into the closing stages of this 1500, so she could have a little bit of zip. Orla Shackloff, I think she's been breaking a few records down at Sandringham, so good to see. So Orla Shackloff now taking the lead with Kim next to go, males in that order.
And now they're being strung out like the long train. There's not a pack run anymore. 1 lap to go. Would have expected to see this a lot sooner in the race, but we absolutely have a race on our hands. 300 metres to go.
So Wakim just edging to the side there of Shackloff. Male still battling on nicely, then Diol. See Karima Wakim, the Collingwood Harrier, take the lead cleanly now. Shackloff's just got to hang in there and follow that really nice rhythm that Wakim sets. In fact, she's going to challenge a little bit here. Miles just dropping back a bit as we see Diol coming along to her side, but the gap now about 4 to 5 metres.
Wakim does round the discus cage in first position with a fair gap now on Shackloff. Wakim sat in early for most of the race. Took the ride, looked very, very comfortable. We mentioned a few times early in or in middle stages, and she's charging towards the finish line. Shackloff, second position. Cushy Diol doing a solid run in third, and Nissa Mail's one of their early leaders, closing hard in fourth. So it is Wakim in a time of 4:44. Shackloff, Diol, Mails, Freya Harris, Alicia Frederico, Ali Brooks.
I think it's Piper Gay just came
Piper
through
Gay,
there.
the young athlete from Williamstown.
Strudley.
Mia Strudley. Ruby Donaldson, one of the Sam Spicer Track Club athletes. Mia Alm, Sarah Black, Poppy Donaldson. And that rounds out the last of our junior races. So our junior 3K and junior 1500 metre races. Next up will be the men's C 1500s. But before we go to that, we have Pete Bowl, winner of the 800 metres.
Peter Bowl, been chasing that time. Tonight wasn't the night. Perfect conditions, but just wasn't to be, was it?
No. It was a great race by my training partner, Brad Mathers, but for myself it's obviously a bit of disappointment, especially I'm used to winning now, so losing is a bit humbling, and now I'm going to go back to training and just look at him a little bit like, so it's good though, a bit more competitive now, and just trying to run those times is a hard thing to do, especially when we're just kind of racing ourselves. But at the same time, every race is a good opportunity to train and practice, so we know where we went wrong today and try to improve on it after Nationals.
Yeah, hastily arranged race too, Pete. Did that sort of play into it, that you didn't, this one wasn't on the radar, suddenly it was, and you've got to gear yourself up for another race and another attempt to get that 1:45.20. So, was it the easiest prep for this one, or have you found some of the other lead-ins to be just that little bit more in your favour?
Yeah, definitely the other ones was more, but no excuses. At the same time, I felt great today. I felt great the whole week. Haven't really done much since the last race, so come out here pretty fresh. I think the pacing was on. It's just sometimes you don't run well, and today was one of those nights. Probably a little bit more expectations than ever, and trying to run relaxed is a lot harder than just naturally doing it.
Yeah, Borg did a good job, didn't he, setting up the pace. When you're coming through the 400, you were about where you wanted to be, but gee, Mathis, when he made the move, because he was a bit back off you, when you re-watch the replay of this one, you'll see that Brad was back and he got back onto you and he looked really good at 300 out. So what was it like when someone came onto your shoulder?
It's hard because you're like, let's stay relaxed, and then you see him, you tense, and he just goes past you. So credit to Mathis, he ran his race, so he didn't get sucked in trying to go too hard with us. He just basically just ran his race, and that's how you win races.
Look, we know you've got the qualifier in your feet. It's just a matter of getting it now, so good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Once we get Joe back running and Luke Matthews in form and Hunter back from the US, I think we'll all do it, especially with competition.
we're looking forward to it, Pete.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So great to see Adam Spencer helping out a couple of teammates here. He just went around about 3:41.
And we are on men's C 1500 metres, so 11 competitors, and Adam Spencer is our pacemaker leading them out after having raced the men's A 1500. So we have Jacob Bell of Keeler St Bernard's, Sam Toll of Glen Huntly, Reese Hadfield of Knox, Jai Hadfield of Knox, Juan Chow Louis. He did race in the 800 metres, so he won't be racing. Max Rosen also racing the 800 metres. Wolfgang Concha-Namessi with the shaved head, usually rocking the long locks. What's if everyone getting haircuts? Okay, please. Robert Eccleton, Invitational, Jaron Hobbs of Geelong Guild, Finn Russell of Mornings Peninsula, and Sam Quirk of St Stephen's. Please, story on Wolfgang's haircut.
I think a kid at school has been suffering cancer, so his schoolmates have all been raising money, and if they hit certain amounts, the hair was either going to be coloured or off, and he's chosen the off. So it's great to see Wolfie go through with that. In support. Awesome. I think they'd raised over $20,000 for cancer research. So great cause, and what a great runner. We saw him run that 153 800 at Milers, and this kid is in form. But gee, the Hadfields are going strong as well. Which one we got out front?
I'm going to say that's Jai, And Wolfgang, it's funny that Adam Spencer's led them out, being formerly employee of Little Athletics Victoria. You see those up-and-coming athletes, and I almost put Wolfgang as like the 3-year younger version of Adam Spencer. That progression just through the years, very, very dynamic runner. We're seeing Adam now getting into those big boy races, getting into those elite fields. Wolfgang's got it all ahead of him.
Now, Hadfield's leading. Sammy Toll made a really good move. So, Kochanames is just going to have to... I can't see him looking as impressive tonight. Hadfield's just starting to ease away. Toll, more renowned probably over the 3K, 5K journey. Kochanames is just coming alongside him now. Reese Hadfield in next position, then Finn Russell. But, Jai Hadfield's looking strong. What's the seed time coming in here?
The seed time for Jai is, it is a 3:52.
Yeah, this is a runner that I don't think had broken 4 minutes before this season, and we're in real new territory here. You can just see Toll looking across. I'd expect Kochanames should have Toll's measure over the 1500. But I can't see Wolfie being in absolute top shape tonight here at this race. I've seen better from him, but that's nothing against him. He's just, I think he doesn't have the toe tonight that he's had in previous races. Jai Hadfield just looking fantastic, though.
And both the brothers, they must have done something over that COVID period, because they've come out and just run PB after PB this season, both of them. And 3:52 is the time he'd be hoping for. 47, 48, 49, few second PB. Wolfgang, very, very solid run, and a few second PB from him as well.
Yeah, me bagging him the whole way around, but I think I just know he's got more to come. Being a 153.8 runner, I think he's a sub 350 man. That may have to wait for next season, or will we see it depending on what he does at Nationals, as we see Sam Quirk, I think, rolling through to finish off that men's seed race. But gee, that's not a bad seed race winning time, sub 350.
Yeah, we keep saying this all season, but this is just the quantum leap that athletics, locally has just taken post, the 2020 lockdown.
Yep, certainly has. We've seen some big stuff here. So Jai Hadfield, he has arrived. I think Reese just didn't have a good one tonight either. Sammy Toll never let you down.
Ever let consistent, you down. And for a number of years, he's been one of those types of runners.
All right, so we have women's B15.
Okay, and we're just trying to get the correct start list up for everyone.
On your marks.
And in lane 1, we have Shana Landon from Maccabi. Lane 2, Amy Robinson from Collingwood. Lane 3, Clara Dess of Geelong Guild. Lane 4, Stella Radford of Melbourne University. Lane 5, Esther Keown of, she's Invitational New Zealander athlete in the All Black. Lane 6, Bridget Humphrey of Deakin. So small but fairly elite field in this women's B.
Yeah, you've got Land. Some of them are stepping up for the 8. Primarily Landon more the 8 runner than 15. Robinson's the interesting one though. Sort of stepped onto the track this season as a bit of an unknown and has taken all before. Run some great 800s and 1500 metres.
Has she had a win this season?
She has had a win. She won the
recently.
Women's B8 at Milers Club and was quicker than the A race winner.
Yes.
So it's Robinson's an interesting one. She's also run cross country for Victoria, so she's got range. But Stella Radford, the steeplechaser, going nicely. We've seen her actually just coming along quite nicely. I haven't seen much of Keon this season. I think she might not have been in Victoria. And we see Clara Dess, who's relocated to ACT. I think she's now a Phillows group, and she's looking quite strong. She's been running sub 430s. So Robinson sitting at the back there. I wouldn't be surprised if later in the race she becomes a real factor in this one. So Stella's quite happy to lead. Esther's just to the outside. Clara going very wide. I'd be tucking in if I were her. There's no need to be that wide as they're settling into these earlier laps.
And a range of, as you said, a range of different athletes here. We have Stella Radford, who is a strength runner. She enjoys the longer distances. She has run a number of 1500s over her career.
She ran a very good one early season as well, low 420s. So she has got the wheels for a 1500. Kian, as you said, don't know too much about it. Des has improved a lot this season.
And Des coming from more of a 8-400 background as well. Yep. So she's got wheels. Although haven't seen her race a heap this season. They're also closely bunched as well. 2 laps to go. It's a race of 5.
I just think from what I've seen from Robinson, that's probably where she wants to be. A
nice
little bit
position.
of a gap forming there, but if I was her, I wouldn't be too worried at that. As you can see, Kian and Des going very wide.
So 2 laps down, about 69 second laps. That's heading for around that 4:15 pace without looking at our pacing chart.
I think they're closer to 4:30. Oh, hang on, where are they? Yeah, so not sure they're as quick as 4:15. I think they're in the 4:20s at the moment. So Radford's still driving forward. I'm impressed by Des at the moment. Even though she's running wide, she's remaining very composed, but G. Robinson hasn't had to do anything. And when she launches, she is very quick.
But Radford, as we said, she's a bit of a strength runner. She's done a lot of work up front, and there's Amy Robinson just up on the heels, and she almost looks like she wants to pass on the inside.
Showing a little bit of inexperience there, but as I said, when Robinson goes, she goes. She's got this
and she's
race.
Gone.
Yeah.
You called it early, Tim. Well done.
Now it's going to be a matter from how they can. I want to see Des try and just hold on and not fade out on this lap. She's got a few just in front of her that she can work off. Radford's still working very hard, but look at the gap.
What a gap.
Yeah.
Instantly, she's gained 30 metres over 80 metres.
Yeah, this girl might, had she been in the A15, she could have run something special as well. So, still lacking the experience for the 15, but given the opportunities we've seen over and over again, she knows how to race.
And Clara,
it almost looks like she's smiling when she does it.
Yeah, got the Eliud Kipchoge just relaxed grimace. Clara Des just dropping off the back of that next pack of 3 in Stella Radford, Esther Keown and Shani Landon. Shani Landon, the leader of that next group. But Amy Robinson, she's ahead by about 50 metres now. She will come home for a fair PB. 4:26 was her time, and she's going to smash that. She'll clear about 10 seconds off that time. 4:16, 4:17, 4:18 will give her.
All done in that last 400. I'd love to get a split on that one, Michael. Shani Landon through next, then it was Radford, then Kean.
Solid times for all those.
Through now. She'll be about 4:33 for Des. And Brigitte Humphrey will be next one through. Just the other side of 4:40, but Amy Robinson, as I said, put her in any race situation and she'll respond accordingly. Good. So small field, but very interesting race. A lot came out of that one, Michael. There's a lot of tales in that story, from that race.
Yeah, and as we said, small field, but very quick. And any of them could have been fighting for a spot in that A race. Like we said with the men's B as well, there's justifications for a handful of those guys to be knocking on the door and getting a spot in that men's A, which is another great thing about this graded system as well.
Yep.
Enter your times and see where you sit on each of those races.
Yeah, the
keep
good thing for
improving.
Robinson now, she's going to be looked at for all the races. When she enters now, people know who she is. When she first entered milers earlier this season, I knew she'd run cross, but I hadn't seen her run track, and she just bursts out of the box.
Yeah, so you see a bit of the story behind the athletes as well as just the time on the paper.
All right, we've got another race up, the men's D15. Who's our field?
We do. With hip number 1, we have Ben Collins of Knox. Hip number 2, Matthew Sostarek of Essendon. Hip number 3, Tom Forster of St Kevin's. Hip number 4, Fred Leeton, the older brother of Bart, who broke the under-14 Victorian record earlier tonight. Hip number 5, Ethan Grills of Geelong Guild. Hip number 6, Raymond Jansen of Athletics Nunawading. Hip number 7, Alistair Strutt of... he's an invitational athlete. Hip number 8, Mitchell Wilson, invitational. Hip number 9, Scott Benedict, invitational. Hip number 10, Mark Stodden of Richmond. And hip number 11, Harvey Anderson of Knox.
All right, we've got 2 pacemakers. Bailey Morrell, 1, Chal Louis out front. You can see Ethan Grills just sitting to the outside there in the Geelong Guild uniform. Archie Caldo, yeah, I'll say it, one of my favourites. Archie Caldo, just sitting midfield.
You can play favourites, that's all right.
Not supposed to have favourite children, but I have some favourite runners out there, and Archie's
not that Archie's your child.
Yeah. Could be my grandchild, actually. Anyway, let's keep moving, because Bailey Morrell's doing a good job out there. Looks like Louis sitting to the outside. Grills, prominent. That's Sostarek there in the Essendon uniform. Caldo not looking sharp tonight. Maybe I've mozzed him. So 4:06 is his PB. We saw him win the Hillart 1500 last week at the
Track
MTC.
Classic.
In around the 4:06. So I think he was just off his PB there.
Okay, so he's got recent form, but you say maybe tonight's not his night. But you also said Lyndon Hall wouldn't break the record in the last couple hundred.
I said Amy Robbins, no one would break fifth or break.
You wrote off Wolfgang early on as well. He got a 3-second PB, so we won't trust what you're saying as far as
territory. But anyway, Marchal Louis going nicely.
Okay, Fred Leeton sitting in 4th position. Who was that?
Grills next.
Grills. So it is a bit of... everyone's still in touch with each other, which isn't the worst position for a few of these athletes to be in. Yeah, the pace is decent. It's not a pack,
210 at the 800, so 65s.
Yeah. You don't necessarily need to be right up on someone's heels to kind of get dragged along. As long as you've got someone within a bit of sight of you, it can help so much in dragging you along for a PB. And as the pacemakers split off, Leeton does lead the way.
But that's actually Jansen, so my apologies if Archie's listening in. He's not running this one. He's already run a lot this season, so it's Jansen who has had a good season actually in the Waverley uniform, very similar to Wendouree. But Leeton looking good.
Leeton, so Starrick Collins just goes up on Leeton's shoulder and he's looking even better.
Yeah. Collins has been really strong too, and I like watching this guy because he's always, as you saw, always near the front. And when the bell goes, he just goes to another level. So Starrick's still looking okay. He's the taller figure in the Essendon uniform. Leeton just looking like he's struggling a little bit. Collins looks strong.
Yeah, the head's sort of bobbing from side to side. He's grimacing there.
To move along the outside as well, but Collins is already out to about 15 metres.
And his gaze is about 20 metres in front of him. He's
so
just
moves into second.
120, 130 metres to go. Now there's a real gap. He'll be looking to close in about 15 seconds.
So 4:02 is his best. I reckon we might get a sub-4 here.
Maybe thereabouts. Even for the likes of Leeton, 4:05 he's chasing, and he's closing fast. Oh, 4 on the dot, I'd say. 4:03, 3-second PB for Leeton, 2-second PB for Sostarek.
Right. Forster's through as well. That'll be a good run.
Forster would have, that would have been impressive from Forster. Pretty much spot on a PB for Forster.
Yeah. That's the men's D 1500. So
Hey,
once again, we're seeing times around the 4 minutes being run in D races.
I was just going to say the standard of all of the races, when you look at your, C, D, E races, it's quite unreal. And I mean, the more people that we get entering these races as well, it just means the more races we can get put on, and the more people we see down at the tracks, especially over those longer distances as well.
Right, we can just see some number adjustments going on there as the girls get ready for the C 1500 metres. Wonder what well, there's a couple actually, and I've got my eyes on Ali Benson from Melbourne Uni. Always runs a good race. Probably stiff to be in this one and not in the B race. Matisse Lazari's back. Ran a pretty good run down at Glen Huntly in Milers Club. It's her first race back. Coltish always likes to get near the front, so you can see Sophie there 1580.
And another relatively small field as well, but athletes relatively bunched also. Eleanor Benson does have a standout seed time, but the rest of the athletes all sort of group between about 10 and 15 seconds.
Julie Fitt's another one. I reckon that 5 minutes is maybe a guess time for her, because she's, I think, stronger than that. You can see her there, 3195. She did very well at the state championships over 800 metres. Rachel O'Brien's to the outer lanes there, the 1764 from Wellington. Had a fall, I think, in one of the recent races, which was unfortunate.
On your marks.
So let's go through the field. Sophie Coltish in 1, Bianca Croucher 2, Matisse Lazari 3, Nellie Mitchell 4, Cassandra Seepin in 5, Julie Fitz 6, Eleanor Benson 7, Rachel O'Brien 8, and Matilda Moore in 9. And Sophie Coltish and Rachel O'Brien go straight to the lead. No paces in this one. Lazari's in the box there, Fit just to the outside, then Benson.
Has been a bit of a luck of the draw if you get a pacer tonight or not. If you've been lucky enough to get one, well, good on you. But there has been, of lack of a pacer in some of the races, there has been someone who has been that one, played that role, take the lead for the first couple of laps. We saw a couple of our Diamond Valley athletes do that job to perfection earlier on in the night. Worked for one, didn't work for the other. But Sophie Coltish is the person who's playing this role in the early stages with Julie Fitt up on her shoulder.
Yeah, so Fitt looking very comfortable there. As I said, Sophie doesn't mind taking the lead, and she had one race a few races ago here at Milers Club where she didn't take the lead and she had a spill, so it didn't really work for her. So good to see Sophie, just getting, dictating pace out front. She does it so well. And we've got Fitt and O'Brien, then Lazari. Benson now moving up.
That was always my style, I reckon. If you always tried to get to the lead, and not that I ever held it for long, but at least if you wanted to pass me, you could pass me, and then I'd be out of trouble, rather than me having to try and pass others. I thought it was just a much simpler, much risk-free way to go, and that's obviously what Sophie Coltish is doing right now.
Well, it's always good to have a few methods of racing and not having a standard plan that you always apply. And as we keep saying, going out and dying, you don't lose any friends. You don't. It's sometimes you've got to put yourself out there. So Lazari looking great. Great to see Matisse back again. Benson just coming in and out. I think she's an untapped talent. And just look at that move.
Fit, she was waiting for this.
Yeah. So 2 to go. Benson leading. Lazari now moving into second position. O'Brien's going to go with her.
So Benson, we called her from the start, just saying that she had a fairly strong PB compared to some of the other girls in this race, and has timed the race to perfection. Waited that first couple of laps, just let Sophie Coltish do the work out front. Didn't see the need to take on and time trial it from the very start. We'll see how that goes for her in these last 1.5 laps. Matisse Lazari, he's running a solid race as well. She hung back early on and now is the one to chase Eleanor Benson in second position.
It is impressive by Lazaro, because take Benson out of the equation. I don't think she should be in this race. Matisse is going really well. O'Brien and Fit moving nicely as well. Then Coltish, a little bit of gap back to Sophie, and then the gaps are really starting to form.
And as we said, that early leading, sometimes it pays off. Tonight for Coltish might have been a little bit much for her on the night. You know, maybe on another night it might have been fine. But
She's
as we see,
still looking at a reasonable time though, I think. And this is, it's Sophie's style of doing it. As we see, Benson just looking really strong. So Fit is still in this race as well with O'Brien. That's really good they've got each other.
and we're talking about PBs as well. Julie Fit, she's listed a 5 minute. You think it might be a seed time rather than a PB, but even so, would be heading for a very solid time and well under that 5 minute mark.
Yep, certainly is. So I think Matisse is just feeling a little bit not race fit, whereas we've seen O'Brien and Fit racing right through the season. But still, it was great to see Matisse put herself out there. So Benson looking strong, coming around the bend the last time, into the home straight. So Ali Benson from Melbourne University. Lots of sad news at Melbourne Uni this week with the death of Tim Thomas. Really, that's really shocked the club. He wasn't that old, and really sad loss for the Melbourne University Athletic Club. Great running there.
So very close to her seed time PB, 4:36. Julie Fit closes strongly. Matisse Lazari, solid running in the middle stages and did her best to hang on. Coltish
will be next through. She'll be sub 5 minutes. So Matilda Moore through. And Croucher. So as I said, Ali Benson probably should have been in that B race, and we've got another finisher there.
She might be wearing the same hip number as Ali Benson. It looks like number 5. We have Cassandra Seepin. And she would have been close to a PB of 5:15 that she listed there. So she was... actually a bit of an outlier the other way. We said Eleanor Benson probably a little bit quick for that race. So men's E-race will be next on the start list, or next on the line. And athletes in men's E1500, second last race of this evening. Hip number 1, Ben Rouse from Essendon. Hip number 2, Samuel Lowe from Collingwood. Hip number 3, Blake Barnes from Diamond Valley. Hip number 4, Daniel Malone from Knox. Hip number 5, Oliver Vidake from his Invitational. Hip number 6, Aidan Valton from Glen Huntley. Hip number 7, Jordan Mitchell, Invitational. Hip number 8, Dylan Littlejohn from Diamond Valley. Seen plenty of Diamond Valley athletes racing quite well tonight. Hip number 9, Kennedy Chen in those fluoro yellow arm warmers. Unreal. And we're going to have the pace of Sam Spicer. Doesn't look like he is on this track.
Dylan Littlejohn is leading the way for Diamond Valley. So Littlejohn has got at the moment. Looks like Samuel Lowe might be in the next position there. And Daniel Malone, one of our favourites from Knox. He's having a good season, Daniel. He's been moving quite nicely.
He's got a couple of PBs throughout the season. He's been another very familiar name at Miles Club races, and we are on from the start. This race is spread out from the get-go. Sam Lowe, Dylan Littlejohn, Daniel Malone are your top 3. Leading the second pack of 2 is Ben Rouse from Essendon, and Ben Rouse might even get up onto the back of Malone, given a little bit of time. They're not all that spread across the track yet. I've just got my eyes on the fluoro yellow arm warmers of Kennedy Chen. I can't take my eyes off him.
strategically, it's a good thing to have at the dark Box Hill back straight. So
exactly. A bit of a glow stick out the back there.
Blake Barnes just leading that bunch through at the moment. And also the Glenn Huntley run with their Aiden Velton.
There you go. Little John just drops off.
Samuel Lowe, seen a lot of him this season as well. He knows how to win a race. What I'll be interested in, I want to see if he clicks his lap time as he goes through the finish. He did it on the first way through.
Well, he's going to do it on the second lap, isn't he?
No, he didn't. Prove me wrong. Anyway,
Daniel Malone,
good.
how comfortable is Daniel Malone looking? He's just run past us trackside here and just not looking at him through the screen, but looking at him actually running past. He's just sitting on the heels of Sam Lowe and just waiting. He's had lots of race experience this season. And, the more races you do, the more you get better at him. And he's looking comfortable.
The smarts, isn't it, at the moment? And because these races often you don't know who you're going to be up against and what times they've run. So you won't necessarily have a set instructions from the coach. But what Dan Malone's doing at the moment is absolutely spot on. Just sit on his heels.
And Little John just fades back to lead that second pack, who pretty much are all connected one by one now. Here's Lowe and Malone. 500 metres to go, 2/3 of the way through this 1,500 metres.
I think Lowe's been around that 2-minute mark for 800, so he's definitely got the
wheels,
the faster legs than Malone. I'm just seeing a little bit of a gap forming there, but Malone's still hanging in. Little John, and then Michelle in next position.
So 300 to go, and Lowe has bridged a bit more of a gap ahead of Malone, whose coach is sitting trackside with his stopwatch as he shouts out, "Go, Daniel, go." 300 metres to go, 250 to go as Daniel glances at his watch to see if he can still sneak a PB of 4:15. We'll see how he goes over the final stages. Sam Lowe, he's chasing a 4:20 and he is looking good to do that.
I reckon that's soft for Lowe. I reckon he can run quicker than that.
Seed time, we'll call it. We'll say a generous seed time of 4:20 and he's going to do it.
Well, it's going to be, he's going to be under it. Aiden Velton.
Yeah, Velton from Glen Huntley is in the third position.
Run two. He's coming to the outside of Velton, who's just starting to fade a little bit, but watching the clock now, and this will be a sub 4:20 easily.
Yeah, soft seed time, you reckon?
Samuel takes it.
Daniel Malone closes strong.
Sub 4:20.
Smart race from Malone.
Michelle.
Velton is there
Barnes,
as well. Little John. Our invitational athlete in Rouse. Rouse of Essendon. Invitational athlete in
Vedic. Yep, Oliver and Vidake, sorry.
And the unmistakable figure of Kennedy Chen with them arm warmers crossing line.
So one event to go, I think, Michael.
That's it. Men's F, 1,500 metres, event 21 of 21. Of a record-breaking evening here at the Box Hill Classic. I think we've got, what was it, 5 records?
6 records.
6 records.
Well, I'm claiming 6.
Yeah, why not? 6 records. We've got a 50, a 55, a 60+, under 14s, Australian women's for 1,500 metres, first woman under 4 minutes in Linden Hall, unreal. Yeah, plus 3 others. 6 records. Oh, Tasmanian record. Tasmanian record. Yep. 5 records. Let's say 5.
Oh. Just relax for a minute, gentlemen. We won't be long.
So, Michael, I think we've got a world under 20 record, qualification alert. Ethan McMenemy, 3:45. So, well and truly under that 3:48. Puts him right up there. This kid could be heading to Kenya.
Yeah, very exciting, very exciting. An athlete from the mighty Western Af skiing the world junior qualifier.
If you're lucky, he might let you carry his bags.
Yeah, I can only dream. The sweat towel or something like that, carry his drink bottles. He's been an up-and-comer and, under tutelage of Stu McCauley for years down at Western Athletics. And, he's got a couple of breakthrough races lately, which has been very exciting for him.
7 under 346 or better in the B race. 346 is a mark that quite often will make the final of the Australian Championships. So we're going pretty well, Mr. Masseni.
Box Hill is it's always been the home of PBs. Now we know it's the home of records and now it's the standard of Australian Championships.
Well, I don't know. I haven't really tracked Craig Sanford and where he sits on records, but this guy is another one that we could be looking at Masters records.
Okay.
Saw his daughter pacing to an Australian record earlier. Craig Sanford, look, some of those men's 40s, 50s, 60s records are really tough, but Sanford's going really well this season. Look at the form too. This guy can run. And we're seeing the white train.
The Melbourne Uni. Couple of Glenn Huntleys there. All club mates having a bit of a run around.
Mikhail Susan. Robbie Jones in it looks like he's wearing a nondescript, no, this is Geelong Region uniform. Yep.
So to read through athletes in this race, we have 11 of them. It's Wes Hay from Melbourne Uni, Dante Cootie and João Mendes, also from Melbourne Uni, Craig Sanford from Athletics Waverley, Adam Braverman from Glen Huntly, Greg Steele from Melbourne Uni, Mikhail Susan from Glen Huntly, Robert Schwarkolt from his Invitational, Paris Gadsden from Melbourne Uni, Robert Jones Invitational, and how many Melbourne Unis?
Yeah, well, it's Robbie Schwarkolt leading the way. Is that number 3? Is that João Mendes, I think, the Melbourne Uni runner in second position? But Schwarkolt, yet again, he's an over 50 and going really, really well. So Robbie's been around quite a long time, running for Old Scotch and APS. Certainly got the head down and going for it. Sanford sitting back further than I thought he would at this stage, but he's probably more an 800 runner. I think Craig would admit that. Not as comfortable over the 15, but he can. Not that he can't run them. So the other, Wes Hay, another Melbourne University runner, so probably from the Tony Brain factory.
And as you mentioned, Sanford, he might be one to watch from Athletics Waverley as he makes his way into 3rd or 4th position towards the head of the field. 3rd position there for Sanford.
Yeah, 2-2-1-4, that's Robbie Jones. Robbie was a fantastic 1500 metre runner in his day as well. Wrong side of 50 once again, but great to see guys like that still having a go and still racing. So Sanford's made that really nice move. So Schwarkolt leading from Mendes.
Schwarkolt, Mendes, Sanford. 4:30 would be nice for this little pack here.
50 pluses, 72 second laps. Yeah,
more than nice. It's just going off their seed times here. It's that might be the mark they're heading for, and 2:24 through 800 would set them up for that, and they're absolutely going to do that. Let's see how they hang on for that final 700 metres, though. And they've got help. It always helps if you're not that solo person out the front of the field doing it. It's a race of 3 out the front in a small little pack.
Yep.
So Schwarkolt, Mendes, Sanford.
You see Braverman and Susan working together as well, the 2 Glen Huntly runners. Then gap to Jones. Shout out to Greg Steele as well. He's bringing up the rear of the field at the moment, but I've seen him at a few of these Box Hill meets in the Melbourne University colours, and it's great for him to be out there. Seat time around 5:15. So Schwarkolt just getting a little bit of a break, but I think Sanford's primed here to probably go to the outside of Mendes.
Yeah, it looks like he's nipping at his heels now, just waiting for the right time to pass, and might be with a lap to go when he hears the bell.
A bit lazy here.
Yeah. You think he'll listen back and he won't mind you saying that?
Time to go. Come on.
Yeah, he's ready.
Although Mendes responded. What a run. The younger legs there of Mendes.
Going up onto the heels of Schwarkolt.
Yep. Big run from Mendes, based on the seed times. But now they've just come together again.
Absolutely.
So this might be playing into the hands of Sanford a little bit as they crank around towards that 200 to go.
Got the speedy legs like his daughter does.
No,
but he's still not.
Has the speedy legs of Craig Sanford.
Yeah, of course, the other way around. She has to get her speedy legs from somewhere.
Yeah. All right, and we're seeing Mendes now take the lead. I think Robbie Schwerkolt's done a great job out front. Gee, I'm impressed by Braverman as well. That's a good run from him, Glenn Huntley runner. So racing 2, Mendes, Sanford, Schwerkolt, Braverman.
And you called Sanford early on, Tim. Let's see if he's as lazy as you were saying in the last 100 metres as he passes Mendes on his shoulder. Schwerkolt is not done yet.
Yep.
Last 100 metres, sub 4:30 maybe on the cards. Will be thereabouts. Sanford, Mendes and Schwerkolt. These three have been racing.
Especially the two masters, and great run there for Mendes. That's the big PB of that seed times accurate.
Braverman comes through next.
That's a very good run for Braverman.
Wes Hay as well. He had a seed time of 5:25 and he has absolutely smashed that.
Then Mike McCall-Susan, sub 4:50 for him. Robbie Jones will be under 5 minutes. Next of our Melbourne Uni runners coming through.
That's Paris Gadsden.
Yep.
And he had a 5:05, 5-second PB.
He's going to get a PB.
Oh, the racing has been hot through the night. There hasn't been, I'm not going to say a boring race, but there hasn't been. Every single race, there's been a strong finish. Plenty of PBs to call, a record. It's what a night.
Well, Michael, how do you summarise that? Records.
Yeah.
Some great performances, also some great racing. So
absolutely. There's a few races that I'm definitely going to take a look back at because as you're sort of calling them through the lens of the TV or sort of looking at a trackside, you don't comprehend what's happening. And then it happens, you look at the results, and then it's, Linden Hall's 1500 metre race, we're watching it. And just to see that result now, it's obviously a headline of the night. But
that's right, it's a big headline. Also, you look at Jai Edwards with the 1500 as well, and it's just great to see someone started coming through now, establishing himself on the scene and being the man to beat at this stage in the men's 1500. 3,000 metre action, also exciting. Dave McNeil, 35. PB, 746.
Still shows that he's got it in him.
Yep.
More PBs are to come, and people, sort of almost some might have written him off, but absolutely he's saying no way.
Wouldn't it be nice to be on that Australian all-time list and have your name above Ron Clark? And that's what Dave McNeil has done tonight. He's moved into that 18th slot ahead of Ron Clark, and just a superb performance, and just looks so dominant in that race.
Yeah, and I think tonight as well, being trackside, it's just re-cemented these club meets.
Yep.
Likes of what Bankstown are doing up in New South Wales, but Box Hill has well and truly made itself the home of PBs, the home of records. We saw Zatopek last year.
Yep.
We've seen the 1,000 metres last month, and now 1,500 metres from Linden Hall tonight. It's
so 2 Australian records on this track in a month. But yet again, big thank you to the Athletics Victoria officials who've worked behind the scenes to get this going. Big thank you to Steve Denoon and the crew at Box Hill Athletic Club as well. They do an enormous amount of work to get this happening, and it's been, once again, as we can see, a big successful night here at Box Hill.
Yeah, definitely. So, Lockie, we're going to hand it over to you for a final word.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. I just wanted to come in. Thanks, guys, for commentating, obviously. But this is our last live stream for the 2020-2021 season. It's been a big year. We've done a lot. We've done a lot in Victorian Milers Club, a lot here down at Box Hill, a few of the club races that we've done, Victorian Athletic League as well. So it's been a big year. We hope you've enjoyed it. I just thought I'd come on and say thank you. Thanks to our team as well. A lot of people behind the scenes, our camera operators, Dave and Jakeb, that are here tonight. But we've got a lot of others that come in. So I just wanted to say thank you. I'm going to get behind the camera again, but you guys wrap it back up. But yeah, just thanks on behalf. Hope you enjoyed. And next year we will be back for bigger and better.
Yeah, well, big thank you to Athletics Exclusive and also Rayner Media, because they are the ones that's started on a pretty slim budget and light material, but gee, it's really built. And when you see the fibre optic cables and the second cameras and the different positions they're getting, I think we're setting the standard here in Victoria with the live streaming and, apart from the dodgy commentary.
Yeah, it absolutely wouldn't happen without you, Lock, so well done.
Yeah.
And, we'll see you next season.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Michael. Hopefully a COVID-free season.
Absolutely. Thanks. Thanks, Tim.
All right, thanks, everyone. Bye.